Always remember.
Hello there, General Kenobi. Say it back, and welcome to episode 27 of Determined Focus, a show where we do indeed yap about Star Wars nonstop. I am thrilled to be joined by all of you at home. How about that? Happy Monday, everybody, as well as my co-host, Focus One, Grayson of Mortis FM. Grayson, happy Monday. We had the day off.
Monday.
Well, you kind of worked today, but it was a day off for everybody else.
I did actually nothing but work. So it turned into a day where I was like, hey, I got off a little bit early, and then it turned into not that. But hey, I might be Focus One, but I need to set the record straight that I'm here with Will, aka Will of the Force, Focus Leader. All right, he's Focus Leader, bro.
Hey,
he's Luke Skywalker. I am Dak Ralter. All right.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. If anything, though, speaking of focus and then having a number for all of the people at home, some people might be thinking, hey, how can I become Focus 4 through 147? Guess what? We got memberships available, dude, for Determined Focus. Woo!
Let's go.
Not only can you support the show monetarily through buying merch, which there is merch at in the link in the description if you would like, but you can also become a member on YouTube. You can click join at the page, or there is a link to join in the description of the YouTube video. If you are a member, there are 3 tiers. There's 99 cents, which is the basic tier, which that just means that you're a member of the Focus Squadron officially. Maybe I didn't talk to Grayson about this. I'm kind of shooting from the hip here. Maybe we can start to give people, as they load in with memberships, their number.
Oh, 100%. If we can
numbers.
If we can keep track of that, we will. If you stay a member, you will keep your rank. So. Currently, you are Focus Leader. I am Focus One. We need a Focus 2, 3, 4. You name it. And here's my thought process. Okay, which also kind of makes it kind of funny as well. That if and of course if you become a member, we would be grateful no matter what. But I think it'd be funny if let's say Focus 3, whoever you are out there, decides. You can't beat it anymore. That's okay. I understand. However, it's much like the guy in Rogue One who's Red 5, and then like he kind of blips out, and then Luke takes his place.
Yeah.
Someone else. The next person that comes in is gonna take that spot. Maybe
everybody just moves one number.
That could be a thing too.
That
but
would be
I kind of
crazy to keep track of. But yeah, if Focus 3 left, and then we're at like Focus 138. And 138 just blops up to 3. That'd be kind of crazy.
That'd be kind of insane. But we'll work on it. But for now, we need more people in Focus Squadron. You know, there's a big galaxy out there. Maybe you'd be a part of it.
The best star pilots in the galaxy and good friends. So you can become a member. Also, we will be doing there's going to be some members exclusive stuff that's coming up. As anybody who has seen Grayson and I talk on this show, or if you know Grayson and I, we like a lot of stuff that's not just Star Wars, and sometimes that bleeds into these episodes. So some members only stuff will be focused on, let's say, a character like maybe a Spider-Man or maybe a Batman. A bunch of other some Justice League, maybe some DCU stuff. We will be talking about that stuff as well on the members only episodes. Those won't happen as frequently, and obviously we'll still be doing the Monday show. That won't be behind a paywall because we love you guys, obviously. And obviously the interviews as well. If we do an episode where it's a full interview with any other creator or Star Wars, whoever, those won't be behind paywalls as well. It'll just be a little bit of stuff every once in a while. And then maybe some stuff that will be exclusive to members first before being available to the wider public of Focus Base. But yeah. That's kind of what we're doing. Hey, Grayson, you want to talk about Dragon Con over the weekend, dude?
Yeah, Dragon Con was dude, that con, man, for all of y'all at Dragon Con who this was like you've been going there for years. Uh, Truly, I cannot commend you enough. That con lives up to the name of Dragon Con because it is a beast. It is not. It is so unlike any other convention. I loved it. I will be going in the future. I realized in the small window that I went for like 36 hours, maybe get to hang out with a couple of good friends of the show, of the pod.
Friends of the pod.
Colin, Blue Harvest, and J Guy Hunter, aka Hunter, and many of their friends that I got to meet. But it's just a giant party, man. I mean, it is what you make of it, and I guess that's kind of with all conventions. But with this specifically, it's like you are there to vibe out with a bunch of absolute nerds, and that is it. That is Dragon Con. Now, I mean, there are celebrities and stuff. I'm going to be honest. I didn't go to the vendor hall once. I didn't go to the celebrity hall once because I was. It's also like it's set in between like three main hotels, but the main one is the Marriott Marquis in Atlanta, which is like a giant hotel.
It's like a mall.
Yeah, it's huge. It truly, the con never ends. That's the thing. Is it's like I left at like the first night. I probably left at like 11:30. I mean, it's busier than it had ever been the whole day.
Dude, I saw a video of somebody in their hotel with like on like one of the highest floors of the Marriott, videoing down and just zooming in, and it looked like somebody had stepped on an anthill from the way all of the people were just flood. And I think the video was no lie at 3 a.m. one of the nights. It was just it was too many people.
Never stops. I was like having to like I had my bag held in like Hunter and Colin's room, and I was just like funneling my way through like people. I mean, it is nonstop. Like it's crazy. It's really cool, but man, I was so wiped after it, dude. Like, so definitely an experience. But I had a lot of fun. Colin and Hunter, they let me well, Colin let me but he bestowed upon me for a day his TK outfit, which was a really blast. Cool. That was a ton of fun. Yeah, super clutch of him. So I got to roam around as a trooper for a little bit. People loved it. I had people come up to me for tons of selfies and pictures, and they handcuffed me for a little while. So I was like walking around like handcuffed with them and stuff, which was a ton of fun. So I definitely want to possibly do that more in the future if I ever get the chance to like make my own. But yeah, it was cool.
Potentially a different type of character in Star Wars, and that's all I'll say about that. That's
there was actually there was there was a couple of various times where we would run into rebels, and I'd be like, we would like point our blasters at each other and stuff, and they'd be like, because to be honest, not that many stormtroopers, not that many. I was one of only a couple that I saw, so you stand out in the crowd when you're in a white plasteel armor.
And like when people are Star Wars fans, like you talk about silhouettes of Star Wars, like you can pick out a stormtrooper in any crowd and be like, oh, Star Wars. So for you to be, it's like that and Darth Vader and Yoda, I would say are the top three of like, if somebody was thinking of Star Wars and they saw that in a crowd, they'd go, maybe Chewbacca as well, but like, oh, Star Wars. And then just immediately those things. So you were one of the, you were basically an art installation for Star Wars for people to take pictures with, dude. You were like a character at Disney World.
No, that's honestly like there was a person that came up to me and they were like, hey, can we get a picture? This is part of a scavenger hunt. So I guess the scavenger hunt was like getting pictures with cosplayers of like different types. So it'd be like I'd imagine it'd be like a Spider-Man, a Master Chief, whatever. And I guess Stormtrooper was on there.
Oh,
and
cool.
I was like, oh, sure. And it's funny because like with Stormtrooper helmets, you have to put them on sideways because you can't put them on like front because of like how flat it is. So you have to like put it on like this and twist it, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I was like, oh yeah, cool. So I like put it on and then Eventually I quit carrying the blaster because like I just put it in the holster because it was like hard to carry. If you wanted to have any other usage of your hands, you know, and like you're also having like you're walking around in this armor with a helmet on, and
Yeah.
like you might trip and fall down an escalator, you know, like it is so fun. But I really want to do. I really want to do a Mando now because Hunter and Colin and all of them, they all had Mandos, and I was the only trooper with them because I don't. But dude, they just, I mean, all of them together as a unit, and it just looks so sick. Like it's
That's
so
awesome.
cool. They have their own little clan symbol on their arm.
Dude, that's so sick.
Yeah, it's a crate dragon that they like
really
all put
cool.
on their armor. I also there was a droid. It's from Mosh Isley, which they didn't do one this year, but at Dragon Con. But this is Mo. This is the droid that is designated to Mosh Isley, and that crate dragon is also on Mo as well. So
that's so sick.
It's really cool, dude.
Before we get into news, we should probably check in with chat because we got
Yes.
people here. Chris is here. What's up, Chris? Ryan's here. How we doing? Mumbo Jimbo, what's up, dude? Will, Grayson, Luke, and Dak.
I'm forever Dak.
No way. That's I'm also.
Can I be Biggs at least? I've got the stash.
I was gonna say if I'm Luke, why don't you be like Wedge?
Yeah.
Unless you want to be like. Is Han in a squadron? Like, does he ever have a squadron call sign?
No, because didn't we find out recently that Lando was the lead, like was gold leader in or no, Luke was gold leader.
Yeah.
Was it like, but I don't know if we ever see Han in a battle in the movies as a that's fine.
I don't know. MacMan's here. What's up? What's up? Ashton's here. What's up, dude? Friend of the pod. Speaking of friends of the pod, we got Luke here, who honestly might technically, because of how many appearances he's had on the show, he might technically be Focus 2.
I thought about that. I was like, is he honorary Focus 2?
I don't know. We're gonna have to talk to him about that if he wants the honor. Wait, I didn't even read the comment. We should storm Lucasfilm and make him release Ahsoka tomorrow. That's my only complaint about Ahsoka at the moment, is that it's not available right now for me to watch. Yeah, but that's what we got going on. Hey, we should probably talk about some news because there was a whole bunch of stuff last week.
Yes.
Speaking of news, I'll see you in 5 seconds. Woohoo! How about that, baby?
How you like that?
We got segment bumpers, dude. What is this? Saturday Night Live? Speaking of which, we were talking about Luke. I went away from his
well, my DMs gaslight me.
Yeah. We had some Mando and Grogu news that came out because Mando and Grogu was at D23, which they showed footage, but from what you and I have gathered, it's pretty much the exact same footage that people saw at Celebration, correct?
Yeah, people were saying that it's the same trailer that they played there. So pretty much all of the same information that we had heard, like Sigourney Weaver, I think Zeb, of course, with Luke's post right here, Rada. So a lot of the stuff that we pretty much already knew about. I think I'll probably also like the AT-AT as well.
Oh yeah.
So the oneer that they said about the AT-AT. So yeah, it would have been cool. It would have been cool to hear about like one other thing. I think they released some stills, which some people took some pictures of, but there's nothing that was like officially released like online of like a high definition. There's these I'm just gonna go and say there's these photos going around that look HD. Guys, somebody tried to like zoom in and like AI upscale them. Those are not official photos. You can look at it, they're off.
Dude, I sent one of the screenshots yesterday that somebody put on Twitter of Grogu with the Anzellans to Grayson.
Yeah, dude.
Grogu is like buccal fat removal Grogu, dude. It is awful.
It's like handsome Squidward, just like
it is bad. And it looks like an airbrush t-shirt that you would get at like a county fair. It was
It was
It's bad.
yassified Grogu, bro.
And
It
like
was
one of the images is which looks cool, of Mando like at one of the like bars with
bro.
Grogu on his
Yeah.
back, but like parts of his belt are just like completely missing because of the AI upscaling. It just removed parts of, which is just like,
Because
I mean,
that was the thing is I noticed with that one is there was stuff in the background. I was like, that bottle looks kind of weird,
right?
like and by the way, before I go too off topic, Hunter told me that when they did the Star Cruiser, they got early access to Galaxy's Edge and were all allowed to dress up as their Mandos in the park. And I was like, dude, that is the dream right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so when I thought about the Mando in the bar,
have you ever seen the photos? Has he showed you those on his Instagram?
I've seen like one or two, maybe. Yeah,
dude, they look he like him in the cantina, like in Oga's with the full bounty. Like it's so cool.
It is my goal to get a Mando done before Star Wars Night next year.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Before next year. When is that next year? What, like
April?
April? Oh my God. What is that?
7 months.
That's crazy.
I'm not gonna go like full, like it might be like a 13-13 kind of vibe, like flight suit, like vest, like a little bit of armor.
Where she's only got like what, like 6 pieces?
Even
the
yeah,
helmet, it's the chest plate, the 2 traps, shoulders.
Like I probably won't do legs. I'll probably do like a chest piece and then the shoulders and then the helmet, And I can slowly upgrade it over time, but like I really want to have a Mando like at the park. Like that would be sick.
Are you allowed to do that?
For Star Wars nights, absolutely you can. Or we could do the idea that we had too. That would be pretty sick. Or we just go 2 nights and we dress up for 2 different nights.
If I'm putting money into it, that's what I'm doing first.
We should do it. Okay, that's my priority. We'll do that first.
No, I'm not telling you not to. I'm saying like, bro, imagine. But
you're right. You're right. We need to lock in on
squadron colors for a Mandalorian, dude.
That would be gas. Oh, dude, I'm 100% putting like hiding a symbol of that somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but no, yo, dude, Seth is in here.
Hey!
Seth is in here. Hey. What's
Seth?
up, dude? No, we got to focus on the first thing, which that will be also really sick. Dude, if we could get photos of this undisclosed idea that we have in the park as well, man, that would be sick.
It's too cool. We have too many friends that we have too much info of how to get it done. We just need to lock in.
And plus, like, all of our friends also go to Star Wars nights and dress up, like Luke and Carly and Hunter and all of them. So, like, we can't not show up, bro.
I need to finish my Cobb Vanth.
Bro.
Oh, yeah, I forgot he had a Cobb Vanth.
That you have to do that, Luke. You gotta.
I told Luke that he put on his story one day that he wants to do the Qui-Gon Phantom Menace behind the scenes photo where he's got like the umbrella on his head. And I told him, I was like, if you ever do that and I'm around, I was like, I will 100% do George Lucas, where he's got the shirt with the quote on it and the Jedi hat. Yeah. Like, that's an easy cosplay, dude. All you need is bad jeans and the shoes. That's it.
I'll do the pink shorts boom mic guy.
Just recreate. Oh,
LICC. Oh gosh, short notice. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
No, but dude, to do Mandos would also be sick. So we're gonna make this happen. But yes, you're talking about news. Yeah. We're talking about him on the bar.
Yeah, I mean, truly, like, there's not much news for Mando and Grogu. There's really not. Yeah. It looks fun. I'm super excited about it. Sigourney Weaver obviously is a huge draw. The more that Brendan Wayne goes to conventions, the more I'm like, yeah, this looks like really cool. I want to see the trailer. I want it to be released, and I want to stop frame for frame through it and dissect it, because
a trailer has to be released by the end of the year, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Super Bowl, maybe?
Whoa. Oh, so what? Is it like January?
Sorry. No, well, Super Bowl would be a little bit later. Sorry, I was thinking of Thanksgiving. My bad.
Oh, so like maybe a Thanksgiving game?
Yeah. I
That
see them
would
doing that.
be. I would be so pissed if they
There
did it
definitely
during
will be a.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah, because you're gonna be out of town.
I would be. Hey, Lucasfilm, do me a solid. Hey, Lucasfilm, do me a solid. Don't don't release the Mando and Grogu trailer while I am out in the woods camping for the full week of Thanksgiving. It's not even for the day where like I would have 24 hours to go do something with it. It would be me filming with my phone, like by like a tent in a tree.
I like run to the dude from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs of just like to your campsite, like.
The dude from Cloudy with chasing me.
Mando Grogu trailer. Mando Grogu trailer.
More elbows, more fast. Yeah, there's really nothing else for Mando and Grogu. That's really it.
I mean, it is cool that Rada is jacked and in a gladiator arena. I do dig it. That is fun.
Jacked Rada is pretty much it.
Yeah,
that's all there is. Hey, go follow this guy on Twitter at MortisFM _.
Oh my gosh.
This is what I had to pull up for the news post.
Yeah. Well, so the reason, okay, so it's funny because I posted this and then like 2 days later there was an article released. I am assuming by an interviewer for Weapons, which by the way,
yes,
that's
the press tour that he's on right now.
If you like thrillers or like it is like thriller horror, I wouldn't say it's full horror. It's a phenomenal movie. The stack is just insane. And Alden, like his character is such a crappy character. Like but he plays it so well. And as soon as he showed up, I was like, dude, I want this guy back as Han Solo so bad. And
Did you watch Ironheart?
Not yet, but I want to because people say he's really good in it.
Yeah.
But basically there was a quote on one of the press tours that someone asked him, like, would he be willing to come back as Han? And he was like, if the story and the timeline, like the timing is right, absolutely. Yeah. And I was like, guys, I will say it until it actually happens. And I know you echo the sentiment. You've got Lando. You've got Han.
Yep.
You have Billy Lord, who would play the most excellent Leia.
Yep.
Recast Luke and let's do this, dude. Like God, it's just I am such a Solo fan. I love Solo. Truly, my only critique with Solo is the color grading. I wish it was a little bit more vibrant and a little bit more Star Warsy in that way. Sometimes it can feel a little like, but it also I sometimes like the color palette because it can feel kind of like kind of Western-esque, or it can be a little like kind of gritty, like you're seeing it almost from like Han's perspective, right? But Jacob, this is my friend Jacob, so I can say this. Please never show up to a stream again.
That is the worst casting I've ever heard in my life.
It's just like a running gag with us of just like Tom Holland is everybody, because it's always like Tom Holland, The Rock, and Chris Pratt, you know?
Tom Holland as RDJ, voiced by Chris Pratt, is exactly who we need for Luke Skywalker.
Macman, Sebastian Stan, listen, that depends on the timeline thing. I would love that, but I think Sebastian, it would be weird in my mind for Sebastian, like Luke to look older than Han. Cause like, I think Alden is like perfect age for like original trilogy or post Return of the Jedi. Han at this point. Like he's really, like he's there, you know? But I feel like you got to cast someone at least who looks a little bit slightly younger than Luke. Like not like you watch Return of the Jedi and like Luke and Han don't feel like they look that crazy different in age gap, but like I think there is a solid like 12 years apart on them.
No, he's way older.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, they've got Graham Hamilton. You know, the only things you got, guys, you got to fix Luke's hairstyle, bro. We got to move away from the bowl cut. Like you got to make it congruent between the sequels and the original trilogy. Like,
dude, I will always say that one of my biggest things with Galaxy's Edge was that it was stuck in the sequels. And that's not me saying anything bad about the sequels. That's just me being like, if I go somewhere that's Star Wars, I would like to celebrate all of Star Wars. That was my thing with it. But then as they started to add in other characters like Ahsoka and Sabine and Boba Fett and Mando, and obviously now there's Luke walking around occasionally at Galaxy's Edge,
I think he
only
just
in
left.
Disneyland, only in Disneyland.
Yeah.
Is he's not there anymore?
From what I heard from I don't remember who I heard it from, but yeah, apparently he left like maybe just a couple weeks ago.
Well, I hope he left to go get a haircut because holy crow, the wig for Luke at Galaxy's Edge was John and Kate plus 8 Karen, like, oh my
there's
gosh,
this there's like this weird thing, like, as you and I are huge Luke fans, there is this weird thing where, like, anytime we now see Luke, they almost go too aggressive with the bowl JB cut. I'm like, guys, I know in Return of the Jedi his hair's a little flat, but like, it's not just like glued to his head, dog.
No.
Like, and so I'm like, I don't get this whole like Guy Gardner looking, like, we don't need to do that. Like, we always talk about like New Jedi Order. We loved how Luke, like, eventually, like, he starts to kind of part his hair, like he ages into it, you know. Yep. And like, I always loved the kind of like Mark Hamill had like kind of the hairstyle as he got older of like Luke having kind of the more slicked back hair, right? Yeah. You know, like, and as someone, speaking of Sebastian Stan, we love Bucky Barnes and we love his various hairstyles, you know. So I would prefer, like, if Luke is going to grow out his hair and his beard, I would love if there to be a little bit of a maturing of the hairstyle, if you will, you know.
Yeah. And truthfully, if this was 8 years ago, even 10 years ago, Sebastian Stan as Luke, of course. But like, now he's not a young whippersnapper anymore. And I do think, like, if they wanted to like maybe tell the story of Shadows of the Sith, where like that's where they get him and he's like in between that, like, Force Awakens, Return of the Jedi, and it's obviously leaning more towards like that end of the spectrum for his age. Like,
because if it was
maybe
that's my thing, is I'm like, Sebastian Stan currently is almost like a 10 to 15 years after Return of the Jedi. Like, maybe maybe 10 to 12, I would say. I think Shadow of the Sith,
50, right?
Yeah, like, he's like in his early mid 40s, maybe. Yeah. How old is Alden? And I think Alden is maybe 38. Which, by the way, I do have the quote of what he said in the interview with Collider. Alden Ehrenreich is 35.
Cool.
So he is definitely like a good, like, let's look up. Are you looking up Sebastian Stan right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Sebastian Stan is 43. So he's in his early 40s. So I mean, if you're looking at the time, well, it is weird because I think we talked about this in the various times we've spoken about Luke. That Luke is like 53 in Force Awakens, Last Jedi. So Sebastian Stan is only like 10 years off.
Till the end of this to start doing timeline stuff, dude, because we cannot. We're a half hour and we cannot do this.
Okay. Anyway, so I'm just, obviously Sebastian Stan looks very good for 43. You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, but back to the Alden thing. Yes, he was interviewed by Collider. And this is on the press tour for Weapons. And he reflects on his time as Han Solo, speaking about how important it is to work in a supportive environment, particularly when characters are going through a hard time. So he says some other stuff. Addressing whether he would return as Solo for another outing, Ehrenreich suggests that it's not an impossibility, but there is a condition that must be met. And he just says it would have to really, really be the right version of it.
Yeah. Well, I hope anybody says that about anything Star Wars.
Yeah, it's like I think Alden Ehrenreich is a very talented actor.
He's like really good.
Like I'm telling you, like he is, I think, one of the most underrated actors working in Hollywood. He does theater stuff, but he's been in like a lot of just really good projects.
Dude, 30 years ago, like if this was like late 80s, early 90s, even into the 2000s, dude, he would have been like right up there as one of those main leading guys, dude. Like
100%. He's like, when I was watching Weapons as well, like there was in his like it's told in like a non-chronological order, but the first time he pops up, I was just like, all I could see was Han Solo.
Yeah.
Just for like a little scene, and I was like, dude, like, because he had a little bit of the stubble. His hair was shorter, but still, I was like, man, like, God, he would be just. He's just at that age now, right? I'm like, someone mentioned, it's Macman could play Heir to the Empire, but what I was actually going to say is, when I see Alden, all I see is the first scene you get with Han and Chewie back on the bar in Tatooine in Heir to the Empire when he's trying to recruit the smugglers, and that's like when because the first scene he shows up in is a bar, and I was like, God, like it's just I think you've got to embrace that sort of stuff. Like it's if Hayden and Ewan can kind of get this return reprisal of like them being beloved characters or whatever, like I would love to turn around for Alden and for Donald Glover, like for that to be a little bit quicker than quicker than that. But yeah, man, I want it.
To your point there, speaking of Ewan and Hayden, Mumbo Jimbo says he wouldn't get the same feels if Alden replaced Han and they got a new actor for Luke and a new actor for Leia for those OT, even if it's after the OT. I understand, and you and I have talked about this at length, of like, we understand when, like we understand when people are saying that. However, truly, it's kind of a non-issue because of somebody like a Ewan. Ewan is literally the perfect example.
You have to be able to reorient your brain a little bit. Like and Ewan is the example of that.
Truly, like if you were when the Phantom Menace came out and it was young Obi-Wan, were people like, oh, it's not the same because it's not Alec Guinness? Like, was that even a topic?
That technology didn't exist, and we were like, oh yeah, recasting is good, and now Ewan is the face of Obi-Wan. You could argue he is like, when you think of Obi-Wan Kenobi, you think of Ewan McGregor, right?
100%.
And to another good example of this is Harrison Ford's de-aging in the opening of Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
Versus Alden as Han in Solo.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I get the feeling of like, oh, it's like you're watching Last Crusade again, right? You know, and but like at the same time, for me in the 7-8 years that Solo has been out, I can merge those two depictions so easily for me. Where it's like Alden is that was what made him so great, is he's not doing a Harrison impression.
No.
Right? He's doing Han Solo. Right? Ewan McGregor was not doing an Alec Guinness impression.
Yeah.
He was doing young Obi-Wan Kenobi. And now he can make, like, we want him as Force Ghost, you know, like
immediately.
Yeah.
I honestly think the thing with Alden is, if he was to return, look, when it comes to Star Wars, so much of us are fans of animation and live action, as well as comics and live action. Every artist has a different depiction of what Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Leia, Anakin, any of these characters look like. When you're looking at them, you're like, oh, that's them. But they're never the exact same art. They're never the exact same face. They're always a little different. And that's, I think, kind of the way you have to go into it with actors, especially with Star Wars, is because truly, and I don't know if everybody in the chat feels this way. I would assume because you're watching two bozos talk about Star Wars on the internet. But like, we want Star Wars to continue in literally any capacity. So when it comes to bringing back those characters that have the nostalgia, as much as, yes, we love Harrison for Harrison, I every role I don't need Harrison for. That's the thing, is character.
Harrison Ford is possibly, if not my favorite actor of all time, he is in my top 3. On some days, he is my favorite actor of all time. He will always be Han Solo, in the same way Alec Guinness will always be Obi-Wan Kenobi. You know, like all of these people, like, again, James Arnold Taylor will always be Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ewan McGregor will always be Obi-Wan Kenobi. This idea that, like, they are so, we say it all the time, are so untouchable that they have to be CG'd over. Like, listen, I love the characterization of Luke in like Book of Boba Fett. It's
Oh my gosh,
peak
I'm gonna
Luke
watch it and
content.
cry every time, but I don't. I would prefer it to be somebody else because if it was somebody else, that means we could have more of that.
Right, exactly. Like I'm always sitting there and I'm like, this is good, but I feel like it's a little bit off. That's my problem with it. Where I'm
Yeah.
like, there's a little bit of like, it's not me. It's not the same as watching Return of the Jedi because that's an authentic performance from Mark Hamill. Yes, Mark was there. It was combined with Graham's performance. It's a really cool technological achievement. But like when we read through the Thrawn trilogy for Tales from the Archives, we talked about the audiobook that Mark did, right?
Yep.
And how his voice, like, it's not Mark Hamill's voice. It's not Harrison Ford's voice. It's not even Carrie Fisher's voice. And yet I'm listening to it and I'm like, that's Han, that's Leia, that's Luke, that's Lando. Like, these are performances. You have to suspend your disbelief on all of that. I get that the technology is cool, but Alden has already been Han Solo.
Yep.
And he crushed it. Lando was already played by Donald Glover, and he crushed it. Yep. You know, like we want to explore more of this timeline. We're gonna talk about a show that's kind of in that same timeline. I want those. I want those stories to be continued, and I want them to get more time with those characters. You know,
it's that theater thing of how there are so many actors where it's kind of like that thing of, oh, so and so is part of the list to get to play Hamlet, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Star Wars is the Shakespeare, is the Greek mythology of our time, which I believe that it is, as well as I would also say something like the DC comics or Marvel comics are also in that same wheelhouse. If they truly are, other people have to be able to play that role and interpret them. And although Harrison will always be Han Solo, and I would say for at least the next 2 decades, people are still going to probably think of Harrison Ford when they think of Han Solo. That's who they think of when they think of Indiana Jones. It's who they think of when they think of Blade Runner. It's who they think of when they think of Red Hulk. But like when you see Harrison Ford, you think Han Solo. But when I see Alden in the same way you did when you were watching what's the movie you were just talking about, the horror movie Weapons. I almost said Sinners, but I was like, that's a different one. You saw Han Solo.
I was like, dude,
he was in a different movie. He was not playing Han Solo, but you saw Han Solo in the same way that when Tom does something, I see Spider-Man, or when Andrew Garfield does something, I see Spider-Man. There's 3 Spider-Mans and they put them all on screen at the same time. And nobody was like, oh, that only one of them is Spider-Man and that's 2 other people playing Spider-Man. No, they're all Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. Like, you're never going to get Alden and Harrison to do a scene together, obviously. But if you need somebody to continue carrying the torch, it makes sense.
Honestly, another great example that's way closer in timeline, although yes, it is animation and live action, we get so many of those live action to animation crossovers, and when they can get the the voice actor to be the live action actor when it makes sense, it's great. However, they are also aware that not everybody who voices the character looks and can be the live action version.
Dude,
Rosario Dawson
X9 is just as much of Ahsoka as Rosario is.
And they are both crucial. It's the same way James Arnold Taylor.
As just as much Ariana Greenblatt is.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And like and I'm sitting there and I'm like, that's Ahsoka. But I also watched Clone Wars and I'm like, that's Ahsoka. Same thing with Taylor Gray and Amon Esfandi. I go back and I'm like, they're both, you know? And so I'm like, I can watch Alden and Harrison and be like, they're both Han Solo. They both I view them as the same character, even if like, that's the thing, is they're both playing Han. I don't need someone. I don't want someone to be playing Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. Obviously they need to be drawing inspiration from Mark because Mark is Luke Skywalker. But we've also gotten someone like, I don't know, Matthew Mercer voicing Luke in Battlefront 2, which is one of the best canon Luke moments of all time, and it's not Mark Hamill, dude. Like, and it like. It looks like he
also crushed it as Indy, dude.
You're talking about Troy Baker.
Troy Baker, crushed it as Indy. Like, dude. And Harrison even said, like, why I don't want them to computer animate my voice to make it sound like me. I want
Yeah.
somebody else to do it.
Dude, think about the people who have done Vader on like the video games and stuff. James Earl Jones is always going to be the template of Vader, but they have a completely different guy for Battlefront, man. Like, and he sounds and like Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor, completely different guy, and I'm still like, that's Vader.
Yep.
You know, like it. It's just I want
Ray Park and Sam Witwer and oh my gosh, Peter Serafinowicz are all Maul.
Dude, we'll talk about it in a little bit as well. Ray Stevenson is Baylan Skoll. We are going to be getting Rory McCann. That's also Baylan Skoll. And when we watch both of them, I'm going to both be like, those are both Baylan Skoll, dude. Like, the face may be a little bit different, and the voice and the performance might be a little different, but they're still going to be informing so much of that character. I'm not going to be like, that's not Baylan Skoll.
Yep.
You know, like, you have to understand that these are movies, these are entertainment, these stories are important, these characters are important. Like Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Leia Organa, and Lando Calrissian are timeless characters, and I think, you know, Solo got way too much hate, bro.
It's weird time for it to come out. Got way too much hate, but it was really good. I love that movie. I think it's so much fun to watch. I would love more during that time, dude. If there was a whole trilogy of just that time period,
dude,
I'd watch that too.
Like, okay, there's that book that like Timothy Zahn did, which is like Scoundrels, and it's like a Han Lando Chewie book, and it's like an Ocean's 11 heist, bro. Inject it into me now.
Dude, imagine they did the like what they're doing with Marvel, the Marvel spotlights, but they did it with like characters in Star Wars. Star Wars did the same thing like that. Like, I think that's what
you mean, like the special presentations. Yeah,
yes.
dude.
Like they're doing with Punisher or doing Werewolf by Night. Like,
yeah, dude.
That's so good.
I would love little stuff like that, man.
Yeah.
And I know Lando is supposed to still be happening, which means Alden can maybe show up in that. And I know it's kind of in limbo at the moment, but I still really want it to happen, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we should probably we're talking about faces in Star Wars. We should probably talk about new faces in Star Wars, because we got a whole bunch from the new Star Wars Starfighter that's coming up in 2027, right?
Yes, it'll be May of 2027, I believe.
Yeah.
It's filming. It's happening.
We got our first look, ladies and germs. And we also have the cast. Obviously, Ryan Gosling, Flynn Gray, who I don't know much about. However,
cool name though. You got a sick name, dude.
I mean, how much more actor name can you get with the swoopy hair and being named Flynn Gray? Oh my, we got the GOAT, dude.
We got Green Lantern and Mufasa.
Dude, I cannot tell. Okay, to plug our upcoming members only comic book stuff, if you would like to become a member, you can hit the join button or you can hit the link in the description. But
Focus Squadron needs you. Are you ready for the call,
bro? Imagine we get like propaganda posters made. That would be sick. That's actually a really dope idea.
Are you down for that? Are you down for some Focus Squadron New Republic posters?
Oh, that's such a good idea. Okay, yeah, that's actually such a sick idea. Dang. Okay, back to Green Lantern. We're getting here. I'll give you a sneak peek at what it's going to be like when we talk about comic books. We're getting Lanterns next year on HBO with the unfortunately the worst Lantern of all time, Hal Jordan, and the best Lantern of all time, Jon Stewart, baby. We got the GOAT in live action, GL, dude, and he's going to be in Star Wars, okay?
Yeah, David Cornsweet is punching the air right now.
Bro, imagine, like, I'm going to need fan art of when Aaron Pierre gets his Green Lantern suit and Cornsweet sitting next together and be like, so what was it like on Starfighter? Like, of just that panel. I tweeted this out and I posted it the other day, but like it would be such a huge miss if on the Starfighter press tour, they don't just have one, like, even if it's one of those, I don't remember if it's Variety or whatever, they do those like sit down
actors on actors.
If it's Aaron Pierre and David Cornsweet and he just gets to talk to him and ask him questions about Star Wars the whole time.
You have to.
We need it, dude.
Yeah. He's going to be like, so, how was it to be, taking everything away from me.
We need it. And just because I saw some more people pop up in chat. What's up, dude? Hashtag Gaints, baby. We'll see you next week for Giants home opener. Limitless Nerd is here. What's up, dude? And we also have some certified yappers here in the chat from the Light Force podcast. Go check out Grayson's episode for the Light Force podcast where he talk about Spider-Man,
brand new day, baby. All the news, all the rumors, set photos, plot details, speculation, you name it. I like Spider-Man.
Which I'm sure there are some guaranteed awful takes from Laney on that episode. So if you haven't, go ahead and watch it. I saw some of the clips and I was like the Steve Harrington stuff as Harry.
Yeah.
We'll leave that for our comic book stuff coming up. Yeah. Mia Goth is going to be in Star Wars Starfighter, who I am wondering if it's going to be her face. She is too much of a high-paid actress that they're probably not going to put her in prosthetics, but she looks like
I'd love for her to be
rock some like Night Sister prosthetics.
I was about to say I'd love to see her like in like a mild alien thing, like nothing crazy, like I'm sure, and not even like a color painting. I'm like trying to think of like a species that like kind of has like a normal complexion.
She's a chiss and she's just blue.
That'd be crazy. Yeah. No, I think like Mia Goth is obviously like is a pretty big up and coming actress, but like she's not an actress that I'm like,
she's about to hit that Star Wars trampoline, dude, and just jump into the stratosphere.
Yeah, I mean, truly, like she's like kind of like Amy Adams in this movie too. Dude.
This one is interesting because I'm like, is she gonna be like? I have no idea what she's going to be because somebody's got to be an alien, right?
Because I think about back when Force Awakens came out and it was like Lupita Nyong'o was in the cast and then she ended up being Maz Kanata.
Yep.
So I'm kind of like, and was there any other ones? Oh, Andy Serkis being Snoke.
Yep.
Was a big one. Trying to think, was there any in Rogue One? No, not really in any Rogue One.
I mean, you have K2SO, but like
sure, right,
with Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, so it's not like a huge common thing, but occasionally it bleeds through where you get. I mean, even like with Mando and Grogu, you get a Jeremy Allen White as Rada, So
even with FF that just came out, you have Ebon Moss-Bachrach as the thing. Like he's really just doing a voice, and I know he's like in like a CGI suit and like a motion capture and stuff, but like I don't know. I don't think they're getting Amy Adams in a motion capture suit.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Jacob, this movie will be set after Rise of Skywalker. We know that for certain.
Yep.
It will be completely isolated though. It will not have any connections to like Tross or anything. And it will be about starfighters. We know that.
I think when people say, and when Sean Levy says it won't have any connection to the sequels, I think that means people who are like, oh, is this episode 10?
Exactly.
I do think it will have, because people think, oh, it's not going to have any connection, which like it's not going to have any of the stuff we know about Star Wars. And it's like, no, dude, you're going to see, it's like Andor, where like there's little stuff. Like
I'm not, to be honest, like I'm not banking Rey to show up in this movie.
No.
Like she could. Like if there's going to be anyone that shows up in this movie, it's going to be like Poe Dameron.
Yep. I would be honestly like I'm expecting it to be like an Andor where I don't know if anybody's going to be Force sensitive in this movie.
I doubt it. I don't think there'll be a lightsaber in this movie, to be honest.
Nope.
And I'm fine with that. Like I think that's one of the things that they're definitely a lesson to be had. I mean, you even think of Solo, like the only lightsaber is Darth Maul, and it's not like does that even really, like he just turns it on, Like,
do you think there's going to be a lightsaber in Mando and Grogu?
That's a good question. That's like a 50-50 because the darksaber is destroyed.
Yep.
I don't know if
what is crazy is thinking from the Star Wars merchandising side of things. usually when something comes out, especially when it's a major motion picture, there's lightsabers on pegs at Target and Walmart and places like that and toys. So it would be, I know Mando, well, Mando did have the Darksaber, and it also had Luke's stuff, and like there were a ton of lightsabers in Mando that like were brought up that like
I'm not
I
gonna
don't know.
lie. I'm not gonna lie. I know I said about the Rey thing, but if Rey low-key got like her own aura farming scene with like the Mando season 2 finale where she shows up,
Bro, she gets a hallway scene.
that's what I'm saying. Is like she's like in a full cloak, like yellow saber pops out and everything, and she
Woo!
like just like saves their ass and dips, like or even like is trying to stop them. Like say
Yeah.
that they're like maybe Ryan Gosling's character is a little bit shadier, right? Like he shows up to stop them, sort of thing. Like think like a Daredevil and She-Hulk,
Yeah.
like where maybe not even that big of scale. I would love that, dude.
That'd be
You see
sick.
you see a cloak and a yellow lightsaber pop up, and you're like, and I know people be like, oh my gosh, it's just like the hallway scenes. I don't care. I don't care. I want it.
Chat, there's a ton of people in here for this Monday. What's this, Labor Day? This Labor Day. I always say Memorial Day. This Labor Day show on a Monday evening, Monday night. Yes or no? Put a 1 in the chat if you think there's going to be a lightsaber in Mando and Grogu, and put a 2 in the chat if you think there is not going to be a lightsaber in Mando and Grogu, and we'll check in with chat.
Oh, we're talking about Mando and Grogu. Gotcha. I was talking about Starfighter.
Not Starfighter. Yeah. I highly doubt a lightsaber in Starfighter. I think it's more likely for Mando and Grogu. I do not know a lot about. I'm going to. It's not. It's either Jamal or Jamail. I don't know.
Westman, yeah.
I'm going to say he potentially might be somebody in prosthetics as like an.
I can see that.
Alien.
I can see that. Yeah.
Daniel Ings. Don't know a lot about this guy either.
I've
He's in Game
seen
of Thrones, right?
I don't know. I'm not a Game of Thrones guy, so maybe.
I think. Finally, an IP that you are not a fan of. I also do not like Game of Thrones. It's not that I don't like it; it's just I never watched it.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is I've not really like dipped my toes into the water. I mean, I did a little bit, but it wasn't a huge thing.
Yeah,
I've seen this guy in something
a lot
before.
Of ones in here, dude, for Mando and Grogu having a lightsaber.
That like is that yes?
Yeah.
One is he was yes, in the Marvels.
What?
Apparently
who was he in the Marvels?
Tyrone.
Okay. Maybe he'll be an alien.
Maybe. I can see that.
And then Simon Bird, who, look, I don't know a lot about Simon Bird, and I'm stoked that he is going to join the Star Wars family. However, looking at this guy, I would not be shocked if he was some sort of droid.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah.
You know, like that guy looks like he has the voice of somebody who would do a droid voice.
Low-key, I would like Amy Adams as a droid too. I know they won't do it.
That would be sick.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about Simon Bird, but we don't know anything about this movie other than it's called Star Wars Starfighter. It takes place after Episode 9, and it has no connection. And these are the people who are in it. That's it.
Yeah, there. Oh, by the way, the Daniel Ings is also in Black Mirror. That's why I know him.
Oh, okay. Do we know what kind of has anybody done the research on what kind of ship it is? Like what that is that they're sitting on?
I thought it was a land speeder.
That's what I thought too. But like it's called Starfighter, so why would the first image be of a land speeder?
Bro, this is interesting. This is really interesting. Hold on. Macman said he thinks it'll be 2 sabers, Luke and Leia.
I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm not going to say that I am expecting that. I'm definitely not going to walk into that movie and be like, oh, it was fine, but Luke and Leia weren't in it. I'm not going to do that, but that would be crazy. I just hope they give Leia a different hilt for her lightsaber.
Why would they do
that? I don't know. Maybe it breaks.
They're not going to do that.
Maybe it explodes in a flaming explosion like the end of Mando season 3.
Does she have to fix it?
I don't know. That would be sick to watch Leia build her lightsaber, though.
Yeah, but
Like
didn't we also?
like a Leia like
Never mind.
meditation saber
I'm not
scene?
gonna give the timelines, but didn't we say that she like already stopped being a Jedi and stuff by the time of Mando and Mando season 2?
Oh yeah, because she is no longer a Jedi by the time of 9 ABY. Which
So I don't
if
think
something happens in
Leia
Star
showed up.
Wars, it's in 9 ABY.
That's the center point. It's not 0 ABY. It's 9 ABY. Can you zoom in on the pictures? Can we get a bigger version
It
of
won't
the?
let me, but I can find another image because that's what it does. Because Instagram is cheeks.
Oh, okay.
I could just find another image.
Yeah, I want to see. Maybe they just retcon that garbage hill. They don't. How would they do that, bro? It's literally 30 years in the future. There's no way.
Or is that about Leia's? Look, okay,
Yeah.
I really don't feel as strongly about Leia's as I lean into for entertainment purposes.
It's a bit. It's a little bit of a bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a bit. You got to have something that you don't like.
Now hear me out though. For Mando and Grogu, there could be still 2 lightsabers, and it could be Luke and Ben.
Oh, with Grogu's.
What?
Are you going to say Grogu has a lightsaber?
You listening to me, man?
No, I wasn't. I was looking at the Starfighter image and trying to pull it up at the same time.
Luke and young Ben.
Oh! At first I was like, Ewan? That would be sick.
Because Ben is like it could be like
thought about that.
There could be like almost like a little bit of a time jump, and then during that point, like now Luke now has Ben. Because maybe he gets Grogu, but then Ben is with like Han and Leia, but then enough time has passed that he also has Ben with him.
See, but does that go against our thoughts on what they would have to do? Like, how old would Ben be? He'd be like a baby, wouldn't he?
No, he'd be 8 or 9.
So they wouldn't do like.
He'd be 8. He'd be 8.
So would they do like they'd have to recast for like because they're not going to Adam Driver and put him on a kid's face
to make him an 8-year-old. No, they would just do like what they did with Obi-Wan, with Luke and Leia. Just recast them. Just get a little kid.
Yeah. But then I'm also like in the comics, it's like pretty obviously like a young Adam Driver.
We just had a whole discussion about how it doesn't have to be.
No. I'm saying I would like them to recast. I'm just saying this close to all of the young Kylo Ren's lore that we've been getting, and it's obviously young Adam Driver.
We've never seen him that young though.
Well, how old is he when Luke is talking to him about the door? Like your door being open. He's got to be like
so Shadow of the Sith. He's 16. I think he's like 12.
Because that image, Luke is young in that image.
I mean, that's like that's. Oh God, we're back. We're back on our BS. Rise of Kylo Ren. Flashbacks.
Oh, now MacMan is just feeding into Grayson's loves right here.
Hold on. Oh, there's a time. It's in timelines. Okay. Which you have
of that image.
That it was No, this is it. He was in. I'm looking at it now. Hold on.
I just put timelines back on there. I literally just put that away from when I took it out for the Hannah thing.
It does. Does it have the flashback in? It definitely. Hold on. I'm figuring this out, dude.
Yeah. In the meantime, this is the image for Starfighter, which looks like a land speeder. I will say that they've got a practical set that is sick.
It is very cool.
There's also no way they don't do something Starfighter related at Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, 100%. Well, because we're getting the Mando and Grogu re-theming of No, I think they're gonna slowly transition into that sort of stuff. Rise of Kylo Ren river scene. Of course, I can't find it.
Are you just looking at the panel with the doors?
Well, I was looking up to see if I could figure. We literally talked about. Okay, yeah, Luke is pretty young.
I know it's in
I,
timelines. I remember bringing it up and seeing it, but I just put the book over there. I'm not pulling it back
I
up.
I also because and during that same time. Oh no, he's a little bit older because they end up going to Elfrona, and that's when they run into Ren. Okay, I'm looking at it now.
My
Ben looks about he looks about maybe 9 or 10.
Yeah, but it's
So
100% Adam Driver as a kid. Like the art
I
is
mean,
like
yeah, like that's the only reference they have to go off to.
but that's what I'm saying is like I don't think with how much they're doing of young Adam Driver in media right now because there's so much
I don't
sequel stuff. I saw a tweet today that was like there's 4 comics and that Finn book that's coming out all within the by the end of the year of like running concurrent sequels comics that are all going on right now. Like that's
what?
crazy.
Oh, do you remember like the Han one and stuff?
There's the Han one, there's Legacy of Vader, there's the Poe Dameron one where it's like the hyperspace stories or whatever.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then there's the book that's coming out where it's Janna and Finn
Finn.
and they're like doing a joint mission together and the cover is them in the stormtrooper outfits.
Yeah, but again, we had this whole conversation. They would easily like for a little kid like that's the same argument with like
I'm not saying it's not possible, and it's 100% what I would prefer. I'm just saying with how much they're doing with stuff where it is clearly young Adam Driver. I'm like, is it too close to adding a different face to all of that art, like to contradict that art right now? You know what I mean?
I mean
I'm not thinking from a lore perspective, or I'm thinking of more of like a marketing perspective of like them making decisions.
I don't think they care that much about that. I think as a reader, you're like it's the same thing when they did like the Han Solo comics, that tied into the Solo movie. They didn't make it look like Harrison, but then there's still plenty of comics where they kind of like make him either look like Alden or they make him look like Han. I mean, look like
Yeah.
Harrison.
Yeah.
So again, he's young enough that like you could cast an actor to be like, oh, that like I remember back in the day when the sequels were coming out, the top fan cast was like Finn Wolfhard as young Adam, like young Ben Solo, and I'm like, yeah,
Oof.
sure, yeah. Obviously, he's too old now, but
Yeah.
but at the time when it was Stranger Things era, like when he was like 12,
Yeah, you just get some kid to do a couple scenes.
yeah, he could just be standing there, dude. Like,
Yeah.
but anyway, yes, that is definitely a
anything
land
else from
speeder.
news? I
That's
think
it.
that's it.
That's a land speeder. That's all I was
Yes, that's it. That's a land speeder. All right, we got some fun stuff to do now. This is let's make some dank ferret clips.
Dank ferret.
Hey, yeah, we got segments now. We got segment bumpers for everything. We are now going to be calling the segment that we do any sort of live blind ranking or Mount Rushmore or top 5, anything of the sort. Rank Faric. How about that?
Faric. I like it.
As you heard.
What do y'all think? Do y'all like it? I like it.
If you can come up with a better name, I'll switch it. But as of right now, Rank Faric is currently my favorite because it also plays to what we would say as to not swear, but swear in terms of Star Wars if we get rage baited by the other person for what we are talking about. We're doing lightsabers.
Take that, mother criffers. I like that one too. Timothy Zahn made Criff. Did you know that? Now you know.
They should make a character in Star Wars whose name is Criff.
Surely it exists.
Criff Faric. That just sounds like a Star Wars character.
And literally, like if you didn't know, like it was my favorite my favorite obscure. This is my favorite Glup Shido phrase in Star Wars is Kyle Katarn. The way he would always say, the way he would always like swear or like say something like exclamatory was he would say Sith spit.
Yeah,
like, Sith spit, and I was like I like that.
What does oh, what does Doc say? I know his name's not Doc, but Christopher Lloyd say in Mando season 3, and Cad Bane says it. Oh my gosh.
Well, there's also there's Carabas, which is what Zeb says, but that's not them.
Oh, I'm thinking of oh my
I didn't know
gosh, this
Cad Bane.
crushed me. Yeah. Yeah, dude. What is that? There's like a phrase or something that they all say, and it's always like Jon Favreau puts it in like everything that he does. What
It's
the
not Dank Faric?
No, dude. It's oh my goodness. I'm gonna
Just pull up the episode and just find it.
oh my gosh. Wait.
Look up.
If that isn't the Quacta calling the Stifling slimy.
Oh, yeah, that's like it's basically the yes, okay.
Boba says it. Christopher Lloyd says it in the Mando season 3 episode, and Boba says it in Mando season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's just their universe. What is the saying of that in real life? What is that?
If that's not the pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah. That's so cheesy, dude.
Yeah. If that's not the Quacta calling the Stifling slimy.
And they also say like they say like blast. They're like,
yeah,
which is also, dude, we need to like, bro, okay. Guys, next week maybe we do a ranking of all of the swear words in Star Wars.
That's a fun one.
That's really cool, dude. Top 10.
I like that a lot. That's actually a really fun one. But the greatest swear word that's like in universe is from SpongeBob when they go tartar sauce. Okay, what are we ranking first?
So dumb.
What are we ranking first? Lightsabers? Oh, we lost him. We lost him. I think we're ranking lightsabers first. The lightsabers of Ahsoka, I'm pretty sure it looks like he's sleeping. the way the frame froze, it looked like your eyes were closed like this like the whole time, and you were just frozen. He's kind of back. He's kind of back. We can see him moving around. This looks like he's floating around in a Bacta tank, and he can't hear us, but we can hear him. No, other way around. He can hear us, but we can't hear him. He's also not speaking. So, oh, we lost it for good, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, welcome back to Determined Focus, a show where it's just me and Grayson is not here. Oh no, we lost him. Yeah, but what we were going to do when Grayson gets back. Oh, he's back.
Guys, hello?
You're here.
Dude, computer just like imploded. It's been rough.
Grayson got order 66.
that is true.
We're ranking lightsabers, right? The lightsabers of Ahsoka.
Specifically, we are narrowing it down to the top 3 of Ahsoka because I believe in total there are technically, if we're getting semantical, that's not a word, but I made it a word.
Semantical.
Sure. Romantical. I believe there is 6.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah.
Really, one could be condensed into 5. But
and this is not before we get into this. This is not ranking Ahsoka's lightsabers that she uses. This is the sabers in the Ahsoka series.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Do
we want to do this? Are we doing this collaboratively or are we doing individual top 3s? Because I think
we should do this collaboratively.
Oh, dang. Okay. Well,
at least that is what you texted me last night to do it collaboratively.
Yeah. Okay. Well, should we just start with what our individuals are and then maybe try to okay, let's start at 3.
Okay.
What is your 3?
Balin's.
Same.
Okay. This might be a quick segment.
Yeah, Balin at 3. What is your? Do you want to say my 2?
Sure.
This is where we're going to disagree.
I already
Ahsoka's
wrong. Wrong.
It's
if it was Ezra's without the For context, we are in the middle of an argument where where other people who are listening do not have context because we already know what we're talking about. We are debating between the top 2 spots of the top 3. As of right now, Balin's lightsaber is number 3. That's great. We are now trying to decide between the number 2 being Sabine's saber or Ahsoka's saber.
I didn't say my one.
Whoa, it's not Sabine's?
Yeah, it is.
That's what I knew. Yeah, exactly. That's my number 2.
So here's the thing. Is if it is, I will level with you. If it is just Ahsoka's primary lightsaber. I don't like the show. Like just her main hilt. It's held back for me because I don't like the stubby Shoto. I don't like it. Like I don't dislike it, but I'm like I am such a single saber guy. I love a solo. I love a one-bladed good hilt, right?
Oh, really?
For me,
Mr. Stranger fan.
But all of the other characters I like. Stranger is like the exception to the rule. But he fights with one too.
Than Ahsoka's.
No, but okay, but I like Ahsoka's
hill that comes out of a lightsaber to make it.
I know. We're not talking about the Strangers. I like Ahsoka's lightsabers more than the Strangers.
I know, but I'm saying if you were saying it's being held back, so would you say this? You like Sabine's more than the Strangers?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Dude, I like all of the hilts from Ahsoka more than the Strangers.
I agree that, and we have said this before, and we said this with an episode with Luke, that the lineup of sabers in Ahsoka is the greatest in any Star Wars project.
It is literally, it's the original trilogy, and then it's Ahsoka.
Yep.
That's it. And Ahsoka could be convinced, I could be convinced that it's number 1 strictly because there's just more.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So
Jin's is great. Balin's is great. We've got the Inquisitor saber.
I forgot about Marok's. Yes, of course.
Ahsoka's obviously, then Sabine's. We've also got Ezra's V3 actually.
Yeah.
So what? There's 6 in the show.
And then technically, granted, I don't count it as much. There's the flashbacks. There's Ahsoka's greens and Anakin's.
Yeah,
but I don't.
And
those aren't
thing that
to
you
me.
don't count would be the Talzin blade, but that's still cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool. Yeah. I completely blanked on Marok's. Yeah,
dude.
And all that is to say, the Strangers, I love it. It really is. It's just for me, for the acolyte of the prop department. They're just very fat sabers. I love it on a practical standpoint. I love how simple it is. I love the concept. But with Ahsoka, like they feel so the prop department cooked.
Yeah, I was watching the behind the scenes from the Ahsoka DVD today, and there's the part where Dave goes into the prop department and he's trying to decide whether or not they give him Sabine's saber, of like checking off of what it's supposed to be. And I had never thought about it until watching it today, but the shields on the side for the emitter adding a second one to making it an homage to Ahsoka's Clone Wars sabers, having both of those is so sick, dude. And I truly like, there's so many points in that behind the scenes where I'm like, this is watching that behind the scenes alone, I'm like, this is my favorite Star Wars. I love the series so much. The time of season 1 was so much fun. And we're going to talk about those first 2 episodes here in a little bit. But yeah, so did we determine which is number 1 and which is number 2?
I mean, can you hear me right now? Am I okay?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. My internet's kind of bugging out. So here's the thing for me is when it comes to the Sabine Ezra Green saber, I like it, the animated version better.
Yes.
That being said, I love how OT the Sabine version feels. Obviously, from a practical standpoint, they had to put those guards on so they could fit a blade in it.
Yep.
I love the red lever. I love the triangle ring. Like when Sabine is walking through Peridia and she's like going to find Ezra and it's just like clipped on her belt. You know, I am such a sucker for a lightsaber being clipped on a belt. And for that, I'm like, that's to me, that saber feels like if you were to go to Galaxy's Edge, like go to Batu or go to like Nar Shaddaa on a black market or something, yet you would find an old saber in a that's the best way I can say it. Is it's like the Graflex for me. Dude, internet, you're killing me right now.
I mean, you're here and we can hear you. So the last thing I heard was it's like the Graflex for me.
Oh, for me, it is the hybrid of the Graflex and the Luke ROTJ, where it's the thin neck, but it's got the elements of a Graflex. It's got the black, it's got a little bit of the red, it's got the triangle ring like Luke's, and it also sounds sick. Again, I like the Ezra version where it's just the little, just the little emitter. But from a prop standpoint, I still look at that green Sabine hilt and I'm like, it just resonates with me more. That's the thing. But Ahsoka's is still like a top 5, you know, like
it's one of
like all time for me.
All time sabers, and like I talk a lot about when it comes to sabers of like why a saber I enjoy the design for me. It's when a saber, when you look at it, it screams the character that is wielding it. That saber is 1000% Ahsoka, especially at that point in her life, being the Ronin, being that samurai character. Like it's also one of the most unique designs for a lightsaber in Star Wars, but it tells the story of so much of that samurai Kurosawa influence that George had when making Star Wars, that like there are 100 reasons why it's a great lightsaber, and then 100 more of like B reasons why it's an awesome lightsaber. Like it is truly so cool. So yes, and here's the Shoto right here, actually, the bookmark that I have.
And that being said, the Shoto is still cool. It obviously matches very well. I love a long lightsaber hilt, and Ahsoka's is like, I think from a prop standpoint is like a good, like it's like a good foot long, you know? And so again, when she's squaring up with like almost the katana, when a Jedi hits a katana stance, bro, woo! I'm locked in. And like
dude,
that's the way Luke does it. That's the way Kanan does it. That's the way I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. It's so good, dude.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, so is Ahsoka's at 1?
Even Sabine does it. Sure.
Yeah. Ahsoka's is 1.
Fine with that. Can you listen?
What? You said listen.
Hello? I was gonna say, could we? Sorry, yeah, because there's a little bit of delay on my end. My bad. Could we? Before you can go ahead and say our top 3 here, but I do want to quickly run through our individual top 5 sabers of all time for people who may not know.
Top 5?
Like for us individually,
I can give you my top 3.
I want your 5.
I don't. Okay, then you have to go first because I would have to think of my 4 and 5.
Okay. 1 is Kanan. 2 is Luke ROTJ. 3 is the Ezra Sabine green. 4 is Ahsoka white. 5 is... I'm going to say 5 is probably Cal's.
See, I don't know what would be at my 5 spot. That's the problem.
My honorable mention is Balin. This is also canon, by the way. This Legends, I have a couple different ones.
Yeah. I would probably put Star Killers in my 5 spot if we were doing Legends, but we're just doing 100. Canon. Okay, so I can do 1 through 4 easy. Number 1, Luke's ROTJ. Number 2, Ezra's V2. Number 3, Dooku's. Number 4, Ahsoka's. Number 5 is where I'm like, I don't know. Maybe Qui-Gon's?
That's a good pick. I like that one. That's an
See,
honorable
the
mention for
thing
me
is,
too.
and this is funny because it's between Qui-Gon and Maul. I really like Maul's Wanderer, like just nonsense, big with the hook on it. Like,
Yeah,
I love Maul's. What's that? His V2 or V3?
that's it gets weird because it's like the whole ship of Theseus with his lightsaber, where it's like, at what
Yeah.
point is it not his light? Because he has the first half and then he puts the other half on it, and then but then he gets the Inquisitor one. So I think technically it is his third. Yeah.
Yeah. So that I think maybe that one above Qui-Gon's, maybe. But then I'm also the 5 spot is so hard because I'm like, I also really love the old Ben saber from A New Hope. Like that hilt
Yeah,
is like,
that's
I love that one.
for
So
that one's great for me. It's just like I'm like, but the Luke ROTJ just does that one but better, you know? For me.
yeah, 100%. So yeah, maybe either Qui-Gon's or Maul's. I'll probably say Maul's V3. Yeah, I'll probably say Maul's
Because I was about to say, it's like,
Maul's
I don't think
V3.
I was about to say the only one you only have one with a big red button on here right now.
No, Ezra's V2 has the switch.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the only one you have if you don't do Qui-Gon.
Well, okay, I throw Luke's in there because it has the red and the green lights on the box.
Not a big button. Not a button.
Well, outside of that, is there any what else has a big red button outside of Qui-Gon's? Ezra's V2 with the switch. I guess you could count the Anakin's, but that's like not really red. It's like a weird like burgundy color.
It's still red, dude. It's like
but
it's
like,
and also
yeah.
you've also like every single one of the prequel Jedi almost has not Stacey 10 and not the rest, but Plo Koon has a bit like a red one. Kelleran Beck has a big red button on his.
Luminara has a big red button on hers.
Yeah, Luminara's is the same as Plo's, but a little different color. So it's a prequel thing for sure. Like literally the only one, like to level with you, the only lightsaber in the original trilogy that has a red element is Luke's ROTJ, but it also has the green, which I like. I love when you throw like practical elements into a lightsaber. Like it feels like there was real parts. That's why I like Sabine so much.
100%.
The Ezra Sabine one is because it feels like
it looks like somebody built it.
100%, and that's why I love it. Those are good top 5s. I don't think we've actually ever said that before. We've only done 3s, but we've never done 5s. So there you go.
Yeah,
extra ranking.
5 is tough. Okay. Do you want to do yours for me or me for you first?
I would love to do mine for you.
Okay. I have a backup one in case the one that I have for you is in case the one that you are going to do.
I thought about that and I was like, there's no way that'll happen. Okay. You are going to be blind ranking some ships.
I knew it. I'm so happy I got a backup. Okay. I knew
it. Well, are you ready? There's 6 of them.
Yeah, and here's the thing. If you try and pull one on me, I'm pissed. Because okay, let me start by saying the T6 is the best ship in Ahsoka. It's off right out.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
The T6 is the best ship in Ahsoka. Now we can go through with the ranking that I have.
Why are you saying that?
Because it is.
Why are you saying that?
Because it is.
I mean, it is the best ship, but I don't get what that has nothing to do with this ranking. I'm just doing ships.
because then I end up with Home 1 as my number 1 because we both do these rankings so often. So let's now go into it.
Well, number 1 is your first pick is the Chimera.
4.
Okay. Let's keep track of this. Your next pick is do you remember from Clone Wars the ETA class shuttles?
No. What Clone Wars?
You remember Balin and Skulls, Balin and
Oh,
Shin's
yes. Honestly, now I'm already at a loss because I would have put that at 4 and the Chimera at 5. But okay, I'll throw that at 5.
Dang, bro. No love for the ETA? That's what they take the Mortis.
It's cool.
Have you ever thought about that, by the way, that that's like one of the only times they use it and it goes the Mortis? Where'd they get that ship at?
Would it?
Your next one is going to be the E-Wing.
Number 2.
Okay.
It's an awesome
your
ship.
Next,
if I was not flying an X-Wing around or the T6 around, that is the ship I would be flying around. I love the E-Wing so much.
Yeah, it's sick. Better than the B-Wing.
100% better than the B-Wing. My left boot is better than the B-Wing.
The next one is the New Republic cruiser that gets attacked in the beginning of Ahsoka. It's a new ship that they developed for that. It's kind of got like the it almost kind of looks like an arrow, like a kind of like a bullet with a flared back almost.
Yep. I'm trying to think of the other ones that you could make me have at number 1 right now. The Ghost has not been said. Shin's Starfighter has not been said. Obviously, Home 1 has not been said. The T6 also has not been said. Watch you make the Eye of Sion my number 1. And I mean, it's not even a ship, but it's just it
can fly individually though, so the New Republic cruiser at the beginning of Ahsoka. I don't actually remember if it has a designation. I can pull out the encyclopedia to figure it out, but
yeah, we'll put it at 3. And what's my number 1?
You have 2 more.
Really?
I said there was 6 on this one.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, then I'll put that at 6.
Okay.
So right now I have the 1 and the 2 spots open.
1 and 3.
1 and 3. Okay. Oh yeah, because E-Wing's at 2. Right. Okay.
Your next one is the Elsbeth Snub Fighters, aka Shin and Marok's little, the shape like a T.
See, guys, what we're doing right now is debating whether or not Grayson is a good friend. Because he has a lot of power right now when I put this at the 3 spot of what can end up being at the number 1. So we will see. It is my number 3.
Okay, Snub Fighters are going at number 3.
Yep.
Would you like to know what your number 1 is?
I am okay with any of the options that are left. I'm pretty sure, other than just the Eye of Sion or Home 1. So yes, what is number 1?
Your number 1 is the T6 shuttle. You got it, buddy. I'm not a bad friend.
I almost put the E-Wing at number 1 just so I knew that I would have a ship that could be number 1 at number 1.
You got it, dude.
That's why I was also trying to fill in this
not with the T6.
Spot. I know.
Yeah, I know.
I was really like, he could say the Ghost, and I'm like, I'm fine with the Ghost being at my number 1, but I would have put the E-Wing above the Ghost for me.
I kept it exclusively to ships that, for the most part, made their debut in this show or made their live action debut in this show. Obviously, because technically the Ghost is like in Rogue One, the Chimera you never really see in live action. Yeah. So I kept it to, like, all of these ships are pretty exclusive to Ahsoka. I did have a feeling that we might. Was that one of the things that you were going to do?
That was the one when you said we should do one for the other person. I was like, okay, he's probably going to do ships. And so what yours will be is there is only 5. I don't have 6. I have 5. But this is the villains of Ahsoka.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
How many are there, bro?
There's 5. You got 3 lightsaber users. You've got, well, there's actually more than 5.
I was about to say, because I'm thinking of like Enoch.
Yep.
I'm thinking of Okay. All right.
But
Okay.
there's only 5 on this list.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. You've got 5 spots. Your first is Shin Hati.
4.
Okay. Morgan Elsbeth.
Diana Lee, I love you. You were such a pleasure to interview. I do love Morgan Elsbeth, but I like these other characters more. 5.
Okay. Maroc.
Mmm. Mmm. Why do I always forget about Maroc?
I cannot believe that you did again.
Listen. He was like my goat when that show was coming out, and then he was like, bleep. I'll put him at 3.
Okay. Thrawn.
I have 1 and 2 left.
Uh-huh.
See, now this is why I find out if you're a good friend or not.
What? And I make Enoch your number 1?
That's what I'm worried about. Because that's who I was thinking of, Enoch and not Maroc. I mean, I'm going on a hope and a prayer. I'm putting Thrawn at number 2.
Okay. That makes your number 1 Ziono from. No, it's
lying?
Balin. It's Balin.
The fact that we both did that. Bro,
if it was anybody else, if it was somebody who was a guest, I would have messed them up.
Yeah.
It's easy too, as well, on the blind rankings. It's really easy to do that.
It's fun to either start with like the best one first, or like just like throw it there at the very end, because then you're just like it's what we do.
Yeah. But it's also like, if I had said Balin right off the bat, I know that would have been your number 1 immediately.
Right. That's where I was like, he can't not have Balin, bro.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Thrawn could. I love Thrawn, but I am a sucker for a dark Jedi with some cool aura, bro.
Yeah. Are we doing Ahsoka last, or are we doing meditation? Are we doing the slides last? I don't remember.
I don't know. You tell me, sir.
It says the panel's next, but do you want to talk about Ahsoka first? We really, at this point, we can talk about either first.
I feel like let's talk about the show first.
The show? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the show. We're back. Oh boy. Look, and Grayson put on half of a sweatshirt.
Hey man. This is my Arcana drip, bro. Before the HK 50 whatever droids blow up into a nuclear explosion and there's not a fridge in sight on Arcana. Thank you for
I forgot to
my
put
freak.
this on.
That's why I was waiting. I was like, this has been sitting here behind me this whole time. Guys, what do you think about can I rock the 2 Shotos?
Let's talk about Ahsoka.
Dude,
what is that actually, before we start, what is that from? Where did you get that?
This is from shout out Gabercrete.
Oh, okay.
This I would say now a friend. I met her at Dragon Con, very pleasant person. Friends with Hunter as well. But yes, this is got the full kind of. It's got sleeves. It's like a poncho. I've got shorts on right now, but it's kind of Mythos Obi-Wan a little bit. You can't hear me, but it's,
no, I can't. I could hear you. You're loud enough in my headphones that I heard you.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Cool. Yeah. No,
I didn't know that you met Gabercrete at Dragon Con. That's cool.
Yeah, and she'll also be at Legacy Expo, which I'll be at in a couple weeks. So if you're gonna be there, go say hello to me.
Well, I am wearing my Hu Yang shirt, and I am wearing
That's been Huyang this whole time?
Yeah, this is my Hu Yang Wu Tang shirt, dude.
When did you... I've never seen you wear that.
Yeah, I've worn this before. Yeah.
Not in my presence.
Dude, I wore it when you were at my house. When we got barbecue, I was wearing the shirt. We were sitting downstairs eating barbecue. I was wearing the shirt. I think you made a comment about it too. Yeah, this is my Hu Yang Wu Tang shirt. On the back, it says Hu Yang is for the children, or no, it says Hu Yang is for the younglings. Obviously,
yeah,
which is sick. Shout out to the Wu. Which, speaking of Ahsoka, talking about samurais and stuff, Wu Tang is very samurai coded. So, I also have not worn these head tails since the Ahsoka series premiered 2 years ago. That was the last time I wore these on a stream.
Don't you have the better one? That's it was like in your other room?
No, these are the ones that I have. These are the ones that were on the Darth Vader Palpatine thing.
Oh, I thought it was the ones from Galaxy's Edge you had. Okay.
No, these are basically like pillows.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But I have not worn these since Ahsoka premiered for those streams, for those reaction streams that we were doing 2 years ago.
Dude, it's the day after Ahsoka premiered was the very first time I ever saw a single piece of your content.
Yep. It's been a long time. It's been 2 years. Also, I'm just now realizing that I have the Ahsoka poncho that I literally have from you that I could have worn for this too.
Yeah, I do give you that. That's okay though. I think it's a good vibe. If I still had that, I would have worn this. But you know, I'm a brown guy. You know.
We watched the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka season 1, just like we did for the premiere 2 years ago. What was it? 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago? Would have premiered for the first time?
I think it would have been like a week ago.
Was it only a week?
2 weeks ago? It was right before it was right before my birthday. I remember that
because I remember we posted the interview that we did with Morgan Elsbeth herself, Diana Lee and Santo, the day after Ahsoka's anniversary, the premiere anniversary. We watched the first 2 episodes. Grayson, what'd you think on your rewatch?
Dude, so I am notoriously we both love Andor, okay?
Yep.
We are both but I think out of the 2 of us, if there had to be a designated Andor glazer, it's probably me.
Yeah, it's you.
That being said, Ahsoka and Andor are why I love Star Wars, because they are the total opposite ends of the spectrum. Andor is we've spoken a lot about Andor. I don't need to go on a deep dive of Andor. Andor is a very different direction from Ahsoka. What I love about Ahsoka, and we got to get this integrated as a button at some point, but it's because it's literally those books right there.
Yep.
It is Force and Destiny to a T. It is ancient mythological Force worlds. It is treasure hunts. It is Imperial remnants. It is cool new element. Listen, Ahsoka feels like a show made for me. Yep. That's like, and I'm sure you feel the exact same way, where it's like, it's a continuation of Rebels.
Yep.
Ahsoka is front and center. My favorite droid is there, which thanks to Ahsoka, he's my favorite droid. But like, I always loved Huyang. It, like I said in that one tweet, it reminds me so much of the games that I grew up on that take place post Return of the Jedi, with things like Dark Forces 2, Jedi Knight, and Jedi Outcast, and Jedi Academy. It's like, it's including all of those elements, and it is just such a fun Star Wars adventure. I will be honest, episodes 1, 2, and 4 are probably my favorite episodes of the show.
1, 2, and 4.
4 is the obviously the episode right before Shadow Warrior. Yeah, and that's when like the fight between Bayla and Ahsoka happens, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, that is I think that is my favorite episode of the series.
That's my favorite episode, and I love the stuff on Peridia too. Like episode 6 or 6, episode 6, when like Thrawn comes back, is also up in there for me.
Yep.
I love Shadow Warrior, and I think it's great, but I love the stuff when it's focusing on the characters and like the villains, the whole adventure happening. I think, dude, Ahsoka. I know I'm ranting right now. Ahsoka has my favorite art direction out of any Star Wars project. I think.
1000%. And not even just the look of the sets and the world, but the costume design as well. And
Mhm.
and huge loss with
It
Shauna, correct? Is her first name?
Yes, dude.
Like,
That's see, that's the thing is this show, like, we lost Shauna and Ray, and those, like, two instrumental people who made Ahsoka so special.
yep.
It like it is firing on all cylinders when it comes to feeling Star Warsy yet feeling new.
Uh-huh.
Embracing the elements of Rebels, of post ROTJ, of Mando, of New Republic like era stuff, like Legend stuff. It is I love every planet in this show. I love
Correct.
every lightsaber in this show. I love every costume. I love every character. I love every set piece, man. It is just Macman. Shauna was the costume designer for Ahsoka.
Correct.
And she passed away after was it after the show premiered or was it before the show premiered?
I feel like it was after.
I'm gonna look it up real quick just to be sure, but I want to make sure
I know
I
it was
honor
after
that.
Ray. I'm pretty sure.
Yes. And I mean when Dave talks about Shauna, he like
Well, because Shauna also worked on Mando as well.
um yes, no, she's worked on The Mandalorian and Ahsoka.
Yep.
So I don't know how to properly is it is it Tripsic? Is that how you say your last name? Shauna
I've never been
Tripsic?
able to pronounce her last name. But
Yeah.
I could spell it, but I don't know how to
It
pronounce it.
there's a pronunciation on on Wikipedia, and it looks like it's like Charipsix.
Yeah.
But yes, she passed away October 4th, 2023. So either right after the show wrapped or like as the show was finishing. Like as the
Wow.
show was like releasing the last couple episodes. But yeah, I could talk a lot about these first two episodes. Probably one of my favorite premieres in all of Star Wars ever.
Like, I think the thing that sums it up for me of why Ahsoka was so exciting is obviously there's the elements of like I am such a samurai guy when it comes to influences for Star Wars. That's my if I had to pick one outside of the Western, outside of the political side, that samurai aspect of not only like the way Jedi look and feel, but also their mannerisms and their their ideologies. That is my favorite part of Star Wars. If I had to pick one thing,
Yep.
but truly, I think what separates Ahsoka from everything else is so much of our time as fans until the sequels, and even when the sequels premiered, was spent wondering what happened after Episode 6.
Mhm.
Those immediate years right after Return of the Jedi, and we got a lot of that with Mando, but Mando almost felt like it could have taken place during the original trilogy for me, whereas
Mhm.
Ahsoka 100% feels like Return of the Jedi. And I think that's always
I agree.
the way that show has felt of like where it's Mando. And I've said since Mando premiered in season one, since episode one, season one, of like it feels so much like the OT, which is awesome. And I
Mhm.
love those OT vibes. It's my favorite era of Star Wars canon that we've gotten, that we've gotten to see on screen. Ahsoka fills in so much of that yearning gap of like
Mhm.
where our wonder was as kids of like what happens to Luke? What happens to the galaxy after the Empire falls? And because it takes place during that time, so much of that wonder is also a root of why the show is so cool with the mystery aspect of the show while you're going through it of how are they going to get to Thrawn, who has the map, how does the map open, the quests that they have to do within each episode are so much fun from like a game design, like for somebody who DMs and GMs games. Like I've never played a game, a tabletop RPG. However, as somebody who really enjoys watching them, that's so much fun. But especially from like a storytelling element,
Dude,
it's a
yeah.
blast. It's so much fun. The characters are all fantastic, and I think my favorite part rewatching episodes 1 and 2 are why I love Ahsoka so much as a character is because of the way her relationships are met with every other character in the show. Her
Yeah.
interacting with Hera, her interacting with Sabine, with Hu Yang, with her thinking of Anakin. Like seeing that on such a spotlight in live action is such a treat, and seeing
Yeah.
all the other characters interact as well, of like Sabine, dude, that scene in the second episode where Hera stays after Hu Yang and Ahsoka leave and she's just mom Hera of like, oh, I think you need to tell her that. I do, but you're the one who needs to hear it right now that you're doing a good job. Dude, that is why Rebels is so much fun to watch, and seeing that cross over into Sabine and Ahsoka and this show as a whole of the family aspect of Star Wars, I can rewatch Ahsoka at any point and just, dude, the behind the scenes stuff as well. Like I can gush about Ahsoka any day of the week, dude. It is truly my favorite Star Wars project outside of the original trilogy.
It's you're talking about like the RPG thing. So I've talked at lengths about how much the Star Wars RPG system has influenced the way I view Star Wars and the way it's storytelling. And what I love about it is how it feels like there's almost two parties. Like almost like if I was like DMing like two like people at the table, but like three of them were the bad guys and three of them were the good guys. Like
Ooh.
the ideas here are so rich. Or like the three good guys would be Ahsoka, Sabine, and Huang, right?
Right.
That would be like kind
Right.
of the main party. For the bad guys, you've got Balin, Shin, and Morgan. Like that's
Correct.
kind of the main thing. Everybody else is kind of like NPCs. But I love because it like it throw. I love when Star Wars introduces new concepts, and I think that's what some people are. A lot of people who have problems with a lot of new things in Star Wars is they're not used to new concepts in Star Wars. For
Yeah.
me, as someone who grew up, like I said, with those Dark Forces 2 and Jedi Knight games that threw so many interesting new concepts, like the Valley of the Jedi, this ancient Force site that has these like this big battle happened at, right? Like where the Jedi finally defeated the Sith, and it's this memorial, and you've got the 7 Dark Jedi of these Force users that are working with the Empire, but they're not Sith. They're just
Yeah.
they're people that have either been found through during the dark period, or they were Jedi that survived but they took a different path, like a Jarek, or even later on like a Dasan. So I remember first seeing the trailer for Ahsoka and seeing a character like Balin and Shin where they have the slightly off color red, the red orange lightsaber, and being
Ooh.
I'm like, whoa, like, and the costume design. And then of course I was enthralled by Balin's philosophy. I mean, the end of episode 2 when he's like, it'll be a shame to kill her. There's so few Jedi left, and she's like feeling sentimental, and he's just like, truth. Like, oh my, like it's so cool, dude.
Yep.
Like, and you're throwing all these new planets in, like Arcana and Cetos, and eventually we get to Peridia. Like, it feels so new. It feels so fresh, while simultaneously feeling like that old Star Wars blanket you have, and just like it just launches you back in, like you said, like that time period after Return of the Jedi, where yes, Mando feels like almost freshly after Return of the Jedi. Like, okay, the galaxy's kind of in disarray. There's a big power grab right now.
Right.
We don't we're in the fringes of the galaxy. Whereas Ahsoka is straight up like, bam, we're picking up with a lot of the characters that you know and love.
Yeah.
Right after, like that, as they're dude, even down to like the Red Crawl, like the opening Red Crawl feeling like just setting up the tone again of being, and the music, bro, the music,
It's
So
incredible, and it is truly the best example of how Star Wars its third piece is always the music of without the music being right for Star Wars, it's when it hits, and Ahsoka is all bangers when it comes to the music at any point, dude.
mhm.
I when I was downstairs today and I had the DVD behind the scenes plugged in. Um the load screen is just the ba 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 ba, and it was literally just a loop of that small part. I think it was on for about a half hour because it's
Yeah.
just like it's so great. And whoop 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 whoop
Yeah.
whoop. It is so Star Wars, but it's also so
Kurosawa, dude.
just like the way I speak about the lightsabers and Ahsoka's lightsaber specifically, the music is 100% telling the story of what those characters are going through and what they will go through.
From the scene, like the opening scene of when she's on Arcana and she's figuring out the puzzle and it's playing
Ah,
this kind of like it feels so Indiana Jones yet so quintessentially like
that's
Kurosawa.
that is 100% something I did not notice. There is a point when uh it's in when Ahsoka gets into Home One and she lands and sees Hera for the first time. That music that is playing sounds so much like Indy's theme with oh my gosh, what's her name? From Raiders, and also
Marion.
from with Marion, of Marion's theme. It sounds very eerily like
Hmm.
Marion's theme,
I didn't notice that.
where it's there's like a small, and to use a Ashton phrase, there's a little motif when Hera is on screen and it's just her and it's a one shot of Hera
Mhm.
and it's Ahsoka talking and then it cuts to Hera. That little part right there sounds so much like Marion's theme, and obviously I don't think they had that in mind, but to be reminded of things like that within a Lucasfilm project is
Mhm.
so fun. And
Yeah.
there's every episode there's like 7 things going on at once that are all some of my favorite parts of movies and storytelling.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree, dude. It is it is so enthralling in that
Yeah.
way, and like again, like it's been I've rewatched select episodes. I haven't rewatched it from the beginning, so to like go back, especially like 2 years around the same kind of time of year, and just like I'm like, gosh, dude, it just I love when I watch Star Wars, and then I'm just like, man, this is why I love Star Wars. Another thing that I wanted to mention, kind of off topic, but like when I started reading Shadow of the Sith, which I'm still midway through reading because I've been hopping around books and stuff, but when I started reading it, when I started, and then I was rewatching Ahsoka, those two right there, I think because of Ahsoka and then reading that, they feel so similar. Where I'm like, I feel like I'm just watching the story unravel. That I love,
Dude,
dude. Like,
the archaeology scene in Shadows of the Sith where
mhm.
like Luke is, and
it,
spoilers for the book, but like there's a portion where, and I won't get too in depth on it because we'll be talking about it later with Tales of the Archive, but
yes,
in Shadows of the Sith there's a portion where Luke is on like a burial, like a archaeological
yeah,
site, like a dig,
yeah,
and it
your
feels,
turba,
yes, it feels so much like Ahsoka
yep,
going through and getting the map, that like
yeah,
you're trying to unlock this thing. You're trying to figure out all these like old etchings on the wall from an ancient language. Dude, here's something that I didn't realize at
completely
first.
agree.
The pillars, or the monoliths that are there from when Ahsoka is doing the fight with the HK droids,
Hmm.
I never realized they had the same cutout as the monoliths, not only where the star map is used on CTOS, but where Ahsoka has that final fight with Morgan,
Hmm.
of where they're like those black, not spires, but they've got like the half moon cut out of them.
Yeah.
Initially on that first planet, I never noticed that. So
Hmm.
I wonder if that planet was used as a jump point to get to Peridia from there as well.
That the mystery of this society who has connections to Peridia. Like, obviously, we know the Dathomiri are involved, but
Yeah.
we also know like there's writing that mentioned like the Zepho and stuff like later on in the show
And
that
Morgan
like
says when the map is plugged in of like it's an
an
ancient
ancient
people from an
people.
ancient time. Like,
Yeah. Which
yeah.
and then of course like, you know, from what we people had talked about from the trailer at Celebration, although like the trailer that was shown, like there's like one of the lines is like a ancient people from a dark and terrible past. That was like one of the
Yeah.
like that and I or ancient machines from a dark and terrible past. And I'm like like there's still that is why I love and we'll get of course we're going to go through episode by episode, but I love that like when the show I thought when the show came out I thought it was only going to be one season, you know.
Yep.
And then it ends and you're like, okay, there's no way it can just be one
No way,
season, you
dude.
know. And I love that all of the mysteries aren't unfolded. So I wanted to bring up Alexander's message here, which thank you for the
Yeah.
super chat, by the
Yeah,
way.
dude. Thanks for the super chat. As
Yeah,
Hannah would say, $5 dues.
$5 dues. So you said I thought Ahsoka was written poorly. They didn't show or explain the importance of anything or anybody. They never showed you the importance of Ezra. I would love to hear more of a further explanation on this. For the first thing, I won't. I'm not going to go through and like try to make points about maybe what you think for the Ezra point because you specifically listed that out. I mean, the importance of Ezra is what it means to Sabine. He's family. That's what's important. I don't think that they don't need Ezra for some galactic, you know, consequences. They're just if they're gonna be there, they're gonna save Ezra too. I mean, he made the sacrifice to get thrown out of the galaxy.
I also think too, because I read that as well, and I disagree with the show being written poorly. I love the dialogue. I
Mm-hmm.
love the writing of the show. I love the pacing of the show.
Very good.
However, rewatching those first two episodes, they tell you how much Ezra means so many times. Ahsoka opens the hologram of Ezra after Sabine watches the entire monologue from Ezra speaking of, hey, you're like a sister to me. You're going to have to do this on your own. Making decisions as a Jedi is hard. So it's not only talking about the importance of Ezra as a character and where he was, but also his importance to Sabine. Also, within the first couple of sequences when Ahsoka brings the map to Hera and says Thrawn, the first thing Hera says out of her mouth is, so does that mean Ezra? And Ahsoka puts her hand on it and goes, I hope.
I
Like,
hope.
there are so many times where Ezra is brought up. And when the first thing that Ahsoka says to Sabine after not seeing her for the longest time is, I think I know how to bring Ezra back. Not fight Thrawn or find Thrawn or defeat Morgan Elsbeth. I think I know how to bring Ezra back. Like, there are so many points of, and if the
it's
point
that is the cosmic force at work, dude.
And if the point you're trying to make is they don't explain why Ezra needs to come back, if you lost your child, you would go to the ends of the earth to find your child. And outside of him being a Jedi and one of the most talented Jedi, which, to bring up another point where Ezra has talked about, he's compared to when Huyang is speaking of Sabine of like, oh, and he is one of the most talented Jedi I've ever seen, and you are one of the worst. Like, when he's talking about Ezra, of now they're comparing the two. So Sabine wants Ezra back, but she also feels belittled by his existence because she knows she can't. She thinks she can't live up to that lineage that he left and that legacy, which then ties back to the hologram of him saying that, hey, you need to do this on your own, and I believe in you even though I'm not here. Dude, I really appreciate your super chat, and I'm so happy that we got to talk about this. But I specifically the point of Ezra in only those first two episodes, he has talked about lot. Even Mr. Krabs, when he turns around, and I forget the actor's name, but I know he's Mr. Krabs.
Clancy Brown.
When he turns Savage Opress, when he turns around and he's like to Sabine, when he knows Sabine's probably not going to want to hear what Ahsoka says, the first thing he says is, "You're going to want to hear what she has to say," because she knows that it's about Ezra.
Yep, like, that is the two biggest things coming out of Rebels was, of course, Kanan's sacrifice, and then very quickly after was Ezra's sacrifice. And yeah, I think literally the reason in and of itself is, of course, you got to watch Rebels to know why Ezra is important. Like, but even then, even if you didn't, the first two episodes alone show how much like how much Ezra, you're like, okay, Ezra is a brother figure to this character. He has gone off into a different galaxy. We need to get him back. Like that's all you need to know, dude.
I once again thank you for the $5 super chat. If you never watched Rebels, you didn't know who or the importance of Ezra was. I don't know if you popped out of the stream while we were describing it. There's like 11 to 12 examples of why Ezra is important. They also do talk about why he's in a different galaxy
In that ceremony, in that opening ceremony.
It's literally described, and Sabine says, "Not everybody." Like there are so many examples of why. Um, I also think that sometimes on the other end of the spectrum, if people are talking about writing not being good, of people over explaining, like I don't think it would have made sense at the beginning to be like, yeah, when Ezra sacrificed himself and flew off to that other galaxy with Thrawn, like they describe it in so many more impactful ways than needing that said outright. And they even do say it outright with every time Thrawn is brought up, Ezra is brought up of, yes, we need to defeat Thrawn, but we also need to find Ezra, which is literally the whole reason why Sabine, quote unquote, betrays Ahsoka at the end to go to Peridia and give them the map, is so she can get Ezra. So I understand what you're saying, Alexander. Well, actually, I don't understand what you're saying, but I appreciate you thinking that. If I would love to know when the last time you rewatched it is, or if you're just somebody who's like, I'm not going to rewatch that. I understand, totally understand. However, when it comes to the point of Ezra, they tell you at over a dozen times in different ways why that is the way it is in only the first two episodes. So
Yeah, I think even in the hologram, he's like he says what he's about to do. Like he's like
yeah,
like you, and this is why you got to do it on your own. And like when you think about Sabine, like okay, Hera has a son and she's off with the New Republic. Zeb is back with not only with his with on Lyra San, but also training New Republic trainees. Kanan is no longer with us. Ahsoka is gone. Sabine, her entire family is like wiped out. It's just her. The, unfortunately, they do. They Ahsoka says in one line that it's like that one of the last Grand Admirals. They say in the first episodes, if he comes back, it will start
literally
another war.
within the first three sequences. And Balin also says it again of
It's in the opening. It's in the opening crawl.
It's literally described in the opening crawl. And then Balin also says if he is to come back, some will find, or Shin asks, what happens to us when we get there? For some, war. For others, pain and suffering. And then he says, and for others, power beyond your wildest dreams. And
Yeah.
like there are so many people who need Thrawn, and also Morgan, like it's been set up since Mando of like why they need Thrawn. So like I understand. Look, a lot of people when watching Ahsoka, there was this weird criticism of like, if you don't watch Rebels, you don't know what's going on. I want to bring up Mandel, or it's Harvey Mandel. It's Mandel backwards. That's awesome. I was trying to pronounce it like a first name. It's literally Harvey Mandel backwards. The continuation of Rebels was absolutely brilliant, but I watched Rebels after seeing Ahsoka, so I loved Rebels, which honestly is such a great point. And once again, a great point here. It's called Inside Story. Incentive to watch Rebels made me watch Rebels. Like I once again, I have to disagree, Alexander. I appreciate you sending in the $10 worth of super chats. But there's
Yes, very kind.
I would say maybe if you have the time, rewatch it with those points in mind, and you'll know what you're looking for. And
Yeah.
there it's
I
described pretty well.
I have a friend. He was in here earlier. His dad does not watch anything animated. He's like refuses to watch anything animated, which loss on his part, but that's okay.
Yep.
He watched Ahsoka, and everything made sense to him. He was like it was completely crystal clear. I did like while it's not. We are. as much as we are glazing Ahsoka right now, like obviously there's little things that like we are Star Wars fans, we know these things,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, like people that I've spoken to that don't know anything about it, I mean, I always recommend to like, hey, go watch Clone Wars, go watch Rebels because you're gonna appreciate it more. But you can totally watch it on its own, and that would be like that's a really cool thing to go back and watch it to watch Ahsoka, and uh, and then like watch Clone Wars and Rebels. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going to bring up this last point, and then we'll talk about our final points on the Ahsoka rewatch for episodes 1 and 2. Again, what is a Grand Admiral? They don't show or explain anything. I think that would be the same answer.
That's just context clue.
Yeah, that's context clues. Also, like, you know what a Grand Admiral is from any sort of military background. Like, if you've never heard the phrase before, I understand, but I would say that's the same thing of like a droid or a Jedi, of like, these are things you understand because of Star Wars. And Ahsoka saying it's a big deal because he is the last of the last
One of the last
remaining
ones.
Imperial Grand Admiral. If you are to hear those words together in context clues without knowing what a Grand Admiral is, you understand it's a big deal.
They explained they lay it out on a platter of like, okay, grand means big. That's it's a big deal. He's an admiral. Okay, he leads the military. If he comes back, war is going to start. We have to stop it. That's all. That's literally
he's also the last remaining. So he's the final boss when it comes to these. Also, like, that's if I was to say, like, okay, in Mandalorian they don't explain what a Grand Moff is. Like, he's just a
and even like if I watch I watched A New Hope and I know Grand Moff Tarkin. Okay, he's a big deal. Do I know exactly everything that he does and where his loyalties lie, or what his responsibilities are? No, but I know. Okay, he's bossing Vader around, and he's Grand Moff Tarkin or Governor Tarkin. He's probably has a high stake, like a high ranking role. And I would be shocked if you were watching, like, if someone is watching Ahsoka and has never watched anything Star Wars. That's maybe a little bit different. But even then, like, you can still
you know what a general and a pirate and a captain are from anything else outside of Star Wars. Like, that's not a Grand Admiral is not a specific to Star Wars term. So once again I disagree.
Also, Alexander, there's a thing in storytelling which is like show don't tell. You mentioned Andor.
Hey, once again, thanks for the $5.
Yes, thank you. But that's the thing is the ISB, you don't need to know all of the ranking and stuff like that. You're learning it as you go, and yet you are being shown that these are big deals in the Empire, that they are serious threats, and you are being like through little pieces of dialogue, like they are laying out everything you need to know, and later on when Thrawn comes into play, they show you, oh yeah, he's a big deal.
also, like, the ISB, to contradict your point about what a Grand Admiral is, you can make the context clues of what a Grand Admiral is from the story, as well as knowing things in other versions of Star Wars. In Andor, the ISB, correct me if I'm wrong, that's the first time it's ever been prominent, if not the only time I can think of it's prominent in like movies and TV when it comes to Star Wars.
Our first introduction to this TV shows is Callus as ISB in Rebels.
Yes.
And you're just like, okay, he's an Imperial. He wants the Rebels dead.
Yep.
That's the same thing in Andor. It's the same thing with the Grand Admiral Thrawn. You hear Grand Admiral Thrawn. He's a last Grand Admiral. He's coming back. It's going to cause war. This is a big deal because they're like, it lays out everything for you. I think really
it's the same thing as like if you were to watch what's the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jack Nicholson when they're in Boston and Mark Wahlberg's in it and he's a cop? What the heck is that movie called?
The Departed?
Yes. If you were to watch The Departed and you were like, oh, they don't explain the job title of everybody in the FBI or the CIA. Like, no, you just know. Like, you understand what it is. And once again, Alexander, I apologize if while you are watching something, you need that info, but when it comes to context clues and the reading between the lines on things that you are given within dialogue. I think Star Wars is great at that, and that's what makes Star Wars so great. And I think that's honestly another point to why the writing of Ahsoka is so great is there are no minced words in Ahsoka. Truly, watching those first 2 episodes, every statement and line is said in such a way that 3 episodes later, you're like, oh, it made sense in the moment for them to say that. And this is also why it makes sense again and makes it heavier. And the depth of what they are saying is even more important later on, as well as throughout the entirety of what's to come from Star Wars. So, like I said, appreciate you with the $15 worth of super chats,
Yes, that's
Alexander.
crazy.
I would love to know what Star Wars you enjoy. It's probably Andor, I would assume, from what you're saying. But yeah, no, we disagree. But to kind of
And
go
it's
into
just
our
it's
final topics, what are you
yeah,
gonna
and
say?
this is to clarify as well. Like I'm someone who I love Andor and Ahsoka, so
Yeah,
like
dude,
it's
Andor's
like
phenomenal.
yeah. So it's a thing for me is like like I said at the very beginning of this, Ahsoka is one end of the spectrum and Andor is another end of the spectrum, and they're both what makes Star Wars pretty great. But yeah, regarding these 2 episodes, like just what an awesome premiere, especially like thinking back 2 years ago. There is a reason why we are so stoked for Ahsoka season 2.
Yeah,
And I'm excited to go back through the rest of these episodes and just kind of see, like, again, I bring up the RPG thing. Every episode feels like a session of a campaign, you know? Like, the next
yeah,
one is like when they're kind of, when they get to CTOS and they're kind of in the space skirmish, you know? And I'm pumped for that sort of stuff. Like,
yeah, dude.
so it, like, again, it's so Star Warsy. Is Ahsoka perfect? No, obviously I know that like nothing in Star Wars is that is the common denominator is that perfection is unknowable. Shout out Jeff Bridges and Tron Legacy, but for me Ahsoka is like it is one of my favorite shows because again it just it just exudes and bleeds that Star Wars feeling while also doing so many cool new things and introducing new characters and ideas and connecting to past things. And I mean,
Yeah.
it just, yeah, it is Star Wars, and that is awesome.
And last thing I'll say is I'm happy Ahsoka was the way it was because I think her character and her story fits those themes within Star Wars that we love.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that Andor was not that way because Andor needed to be that political thriller that it was. I I don't know that I'm happy that Ahsoka was not written the way Andor was, and it's not the same thematically as Andor is because Andor is that dark, gritty political thriller, but Ahsoka still has that hope within her. And I just need I think I got exactly what I needed from the Ahsoka series. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's I think that's the last we will say about the Ahsoka episodes 1 and 2. We'll be talking about episode 3 next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will.
Okay. You got anything else before we transition to our last segment?
I am ready.
All right. Our last segment. I guess I should take off my head tails because I'm not.
I'm not.
Yeah, you can leave
I don't
yours
have
on.
head tilts.
I guess we're still talking about Ahsoka, so I could
A
have left
little
it
bit.
on, but it's just it's hot wearing that thing on my head.
I can imagine.
The final topic we have is if you have been in any of our determined focus episodes, this is a topic that comes up all the time. It also recently came up. We were on an episode of Hannah's, shout out to At the Rayside, one of her live streams last week,
Hmm.
2 weeks ago, where
Yeah, 2 weeks.
we talked about the timeline of where Ahsoka is during the time of the original trilogy. I came back right before you took it off. Thank God. I saw this on TikTok the other day and I sent it to Grayson and we talked about it a pretty small amount. And then we were like, let's talk about it on the show because this correlates directly to a lot of thoughts we have about where Ahsoka is. So I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to pull it up. It was on TikTok. This is by an artist. Their username is it's like stealing potatoes, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Yep.
Is
Stealing potatoes.
is the artist. This is the first slide. It's a little comic panel. Grayson, do you want to do an impromptu voiceover reading of this while I slide through it?
Gosh. Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah,
Cool.
you ready?
Yeah.
Do I do Ashley or do I do Rosario?
I would probably do Rosario.
Okay. Hey, it's been a while. Sorry I haven't visited since the Empire fell and he died. I met your children this week. I have avoided them for so long. I thought seeing either of them would destroy me, that I'd drown in my own grief. But I saw them and Luke has your relentless hope and your smile. Leia has your determination and wit. I see so much of you in them, but it doesn't hurt the way I thought it would. They're the best of both of you. I wish they'd known you. I wish you'd known them. I miss you.
Bah!
Oh, dude. Okay.
Shout out to Stealing Potatoes. I hope she kissed the brick before she threw it at my head, because holy crow, this was a whirlwind to stumble upon going through TikTok the other day. Obviously, it's Ahsoka at the time of the original trilogy, or like at some point. I would say,
I would say right after Return of the Jedi, right?
Yeah, just
because she just met them.
Luke is obviously wearing the all blacks, and Leia is in a very post ROTJ fit. And she looks the way she would in Book of Boba, or not Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, Book of Boba Fett and Mando season 2. But Ahsoka is at a monument. I don't know if this is necessarily the grave. I would assume it's a monument to Padme, obviously a friend, and the wife and baby mama to her former friend and master Anakin. Grayson, I would like to know your thoughts on this before I talk about this, because you had a pretty visceral reaction to reading this for the first time.
Yeah, you sent it to me. I don't even remember. Was I in like a gas station or something? I don't remember. I was like getting a Coke or something, and I was like, oh. We talk a lot here on the show, like you mentioned, about. We had this whole discussion about, did Ahsoka get pushed forward in time? We have confirmed, no, she did not. She was placed exactly back in the moment in time that she was taken out of in Rebels, and of course the next time we see her is technically in Ahsoka in the show, because the moment at the end of Rebels is actually concurrent with the Ahsoka series. So I saw this, and we had always been like, okay, then Ahsoka's just not gonna get involved, because why? And to be honest, this comic gives me everything I need to know.
100%.
It's the context clues that, speaking of showing and picking up on things, is that in this comic, this is not canon. This is completely fan related, but I would love if this was canon. That basically Ahsoka, pretty early, like when she's put back in the timeline, while we don't know what happens in those 2 years leading up to A New Hope, she finds out about Luke and Leia. Okay.
Yeah.
She's probably immediately put in the timeline, and then a couple years later, of course, like she has to lay low, right? She can't get integrated because obviously that'll mess up with timelines and stuff, right? So she goes to be on her own. Then the rebellion stuff happens, and I would imagine, as soon as she is like maybe ready to like join the rebellion again, Luke destroys the Death Star, and she's like, "That's Luke Skywalker," like that, and immediately she freezes up, and she's like, "I can't do that. Like I can't meet my master's children." And like she says in this comic, like she was terrified that she would be drowned in the guilt and the grief, and she intentionally withheld herself until after Return of the Jedi and after the Empire falls, and after Vader is defeated and redeemed as Anakin Skywalker, to meet them, and she was proven wrong. And that's why she wasn't she didn't join the rebellion, and that's why she stayed away. And to be honest, that I think makes the most sense and fits in so much with her characterization of how we see her in Ahsoka. And the last thing I have to say about this is I love how Ahsoka is drawn because she looks just like the Dave Doodles, and I love it.
Yeah, dude. So
Yeah.
I think my favorite part about this is kind of the same way I love Ahsoka talking to Luke in Book of Boba Fett, in the same way I love Obi-Wan talking to Luke about Anakin, in the same way I love Obi-Wan talking to young Leia about her parents in Kenobi. Those relationships are why we stick around for Star Wars. We love lightsabers, we love blasters, we love cool outfits, we love ships and pew pewing, right? But this stuff, this is why Star Wars is so dang cool. And this is obviously something that we've talked about a lot. I think initially I was a little, I'm not going to say perturbed, but I was a little confused because a character as big and as prominent and as important to the galaxy, when you look at the heads and the main figures of the galaxy in Vader, Anakin Skywalker, and Palpatine, and Obi-Wan, and Luke, and that Skywalker lineage, she's as much of a Skywalker as anybody else when in
Mm-hmm.
my eyes when it comes to
She's very
that
connected to that
family.
family.
Absolutely. Where there's love is stronger than blood in this sort of situation. When you think about where Ahsoka was during the original trilogy, and you know that she's around, you're like, oh well, her whole thing is when there's people in need of help, I help them. Like obviously the galaxy is she was a rebel. She helped build the Rebel Alliance. She was Fulcrum. Like why is she nowhere to be seen in the original trilogy? Or what was she doing that was so impactful that she didn't need to be there for the original trilogy? And knowing that, and obviously this is not canon, right? This is just
Right.
a wonderful artist's interpretation of what potentially could be a reason for her being gone for so long. She's we do know that during that time she is teaching Sabine, and there is before Mandalorian, I didn't know this, but in the behind the scenes that I was watching for Ahsoka today, Dave says at one point when he's talking about the lineage side of things and legacy and masters and apprentices, which I don't remember if it was in that little short that we got, the Masters and Apprentices short when Ahsoka came out. There was like that 11-minute thing, but it's
Yeah.
on the DVD. I don't remember if it's in the same thing, but Dave does say even before Mandalorian, he was developing an Ahsoka series where it would have followed her training Sabine
Mm.
directly after. So, and he says to camera in that behind the scenes, there's an entire story there that people don't know about yet, that is written and is in the mind of Dave Filoni.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think also has the reasons and the storytelling of why Ahsoka wasn't around during the original trilogy. But for it to be, obviously, this isn't the only reason. I would assume Dave is smart enough and he's creative enough and well versed in a character, obviously his baby Ahsoka, that he'd be able to give multiple reasons as to why that interconnectedness of her not being around for the original trilogy is prominent. But
Mm-hmm.
deep down, it being part of her guilt and her walking away from Anakin and then seeing Luke, and then we do get her saying it to in Book of Boba Fett of like so much like your father. Like, dude, it's on the top of the list of things that we need to see in Star Wars at some point, of her meeting Luke,
It's
her meeting Leia. Imagine she meets them both at the same time, dude.
I mean, it's that, remember that artwork that someone has of, and it's very like phenomenal artwork of her with the holocron of
Yes.
Anakin.
Yes.
and and obviously, like, she, knowing with Ahsoka, she kind of has a little bit of that, the guilt with Anakin and everything, but it still is a really, like, she's in the cockpit of the Falcon,
Yep.
like with Luke and Leia. um yeah, like, for me, this comic panel is like, I talk about some of my favorite scenes in Star Wars, and I'm gonna get torn to shreds. I don't care. Is in The Rise of Skywalker when Ben sees the Force memory like projected by Leia
Yep.
of Han. That's what this is for me, you
Yep.
know, of like you said, those emotional beats of like why we love Star Wars and why like we keep coming back. And for me, that is such a big part of it.
Yep.
And this is like, you know, this also, I mean, it connects a little bit to Tales of the Jedi, the fact that Ahsoka was at the funeral, right? How much how much Padme did mean to her. And the fact that she's, you know, of course, she's still coming to terms with Anakin's redemption, but was he a good master or whatever? But she knows Padme was still good. So she's going to go talk to Padme about it, right? Like that's who she's talking to. Like, it reminds me as a Spider-Man fan. Get ready to hear a lot more about that if you join the member.
Become a member. You can hit the join button on the page, or you can join at the link in the description.
Bam. Is anytime Peter goes back to Uncle Ben's grave, or dude, even like, which I know it's gonna happen in Brand New Day because we've already seen set photos of like him going to Aunt May's grave. You know, that's what this reminds me of, and where it hits so hard. Yeah, I get this. Stealing Potatoes, you not even just your artwork, but the writing here
knocked it out of the park.
You cooked.
Yep.
And it's interesting to hear that Dave has that story in mind. That like he has that like because again, I would have loved to have seen, of course, their time training, but like that fresh like connective tissue from Return to the like, you know, through the original trilogy into post ROTJ, her training Sabine and that fallout, right? You know, the lead up to 9 ABY, the biggest year in the Star Wars galaxy,
the most important year in Star Wars. They should make a timelines book just about 9 ABY. Yeah, that's it. We wanted to bring this up because it's something we talk about a lot on this show specifically, and it's a focus we have on Determined Focus.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's kind of what we got to talk about today.
Dude, we only talked about for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we've only been going for 2.5 hours. You got anything else before we wrap up here?
Dude, just pumped to talk more about Ahsoka in the coming weeks, and yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed the segments there. Will worked extremely hard on those to kind of help add more to the flow. If you're thinking about being a member, think about it a little bit more. That'd be kind of cool if you because we have a lot.
Think about it so hard you become a member.
Yeah, you could be part of Focus Base and Focus Squadron. But yeah, that's all I got. I think I had a blast talking about a lot of stuff, but a lot of Ahsoka.
Yeah, lots of Star Wars, and I feel like Star Wars was it wasn't a drought, but we were lacking on news a little bit. So for all of this stuff to kind of pop up, as well as the Ahsoka stuff that we're doing with the rewatch, has been fun. Yeah. Next week we will be talking about Ahsoka episode 3. Only episode 3. So if you're following along with us at home and you want to give that a rewatch or rewatch episodes 1 and 2, we will be doing that as well. Tomorrow, our interview from Rebel ScumCon with Emily Swallow will be out. So get ready for that. That'll be out. We also have a trivia video out as well with Mr. Lore Master himself, Retney's Holocron, which is a lot of fun. So if you think you know a lot about Star Wars, you probably don't know as much as Retney, or maybe you do, and you want to.
You might know one more thing than him, but you'll have to get to the end of the video for that if you haven't seen it already.
Yeah. So there's merch in the store. You can go get your Determined Focus merch at the link in the description. You can also go ahead and support by becoming a member of this channel. As those memberships start to rack up, we are going to be doing a lot more members-only content, so you'll be seeing that as well. Outside of that, follow Grayson on Instagram at MortisFM.
Follow Will on. Oh yeah, do that too.
Follow Determined Focus on Instagram. We just passed 500. We might even be over 520 right now. So we just passed 500 followers on Instagram. What's the total number? 526.
Let's go, dude.
We're trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year on the Determined Focus Instagram specifically. So go follow that. Go follow Grayson on Instagram at MortisFM. And become a member at the link in the description or hit the join button on the page. Outside of that, what else? Is there anything?
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you. Yeah, that, and then also go watch the Light Force podcast with Grayson's episode of him talking about Spider-Man. Go watch that as well if you're like, oh, I want to watch that mustache shake around a little bit more and watch a wonderful voice come out of it. Your focus determines your reality. Bye bye.
Always remember.